output from the output from here to there.
Hey,
oh shit!
already,
okay, I see what you're saying.
I don't want to bore the people with.
I see what you're saying.
We giving them our secrets. So, but yo, it's the Mike Ruga podcast. Was good with my co-host Lou.
What up? What up? What up? I'm back.
G. No handshakes. No handshakes.
Oh yeah, we're not doing that.
Yeah, I heard you had to work during this time.
Yeah, I'm an essential worker.
Yeah?
Security. Yeah, just security.
You gotta be safe out there, man.
Yeah, I've been working by myself though. I don't work with anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I use the whole face mask thing, everything. I'm by myself regardless.
Yeah, shit crazy. Cause we don't wanna, prayers up for Fred the Godson too, cause this shit's been going around and they're saying he may not make it with all the complications he got. But prayers up for him. But we are episode 2. We lit, man.
Yeah,
we gonna get there. Next thing you know, we're gonna be saying episode 40.
40.
we got speaking to existence right now. But episode 2, we have a special guest, Mr. Pablo Escobar of Elizabeth.
Oh, come on, man.
AKA I'm that nigga. AKA Mr. Lamborghini. AKA the real mayor of Elizabeth. AKA I'll take your girl and her mom.
This is how shit starts.
Yeah.
AKA I'm more richer than the next white man. AKA I got more staying than the mayor Chris Baldwin. AKA we can
I'm
keep
talking that shit. Now you're gonna get me involved in politics. I'm not
Oh shit.
AKA I can shut this whole podcast down. AKA AKA the big bruh, AKA Eddy G.
Nah, man, I'm just another guy with a dream and that's it. Man.
Yo, we got Eddy G in the building. We lit, man. Welcome.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Please don't shut us down. Please don't shut us down. I was just joking with the public. I was just joking. You that nigga though. You that nigga. You gotta give it to him, man. So let's get right into it, man. For the people who don't know, who live under a rock, tell them about yourself. Who are you?
Just a guy with a dream, man. That's it. I started very young. I focus on what I love to do, which is music. At the age of 13, I started DJing. I come from Queens, New York, originally from the projects, and just focus on what I love to do, man. That's pretty much it. Just follow my dream. What everybody told me I was never going to make it. So.
Damn. So hold on. You said Queens, New York. How did you end up in Elizabeth, New Jersey?
Oh, that's a long ass story, man. But it all came down to a girl.
A girl? She lived out here.
A girl. When they say one person could really change your life, I really feel that that was that story here.
Mine was Monica. Monica. And it's funny because she's from Queens. Monica's from Queens. So the girl you fell in love with is from Elizabeth.
Yeah.
I almost moved to Queens by Lefferts Boulevard.
Oh damn. That was around the school I used to go to.
Really?
I used 61.
Oh, I never forget Lefferts Boulevard, right down the block from the airport. God, that was my baby.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's exactly where I used to go to.
That's a rough city though.
Nah, her house was it was off of
That
Straight.
whole area is rough though.
She lived down the block off of Lefferts Boulevard.
Yeah,
but fuck her, she's pregnant now with the wrong nigga, so I don't even want to talk about her. But so if that girl was from Rahway, you would have been Eddy G from Rahway.
No, the crazy part about it is that I was never in Jersey whatsoever.
Damn, I never knew that.
I'm in Colombia. Yeah, I'm in Colombia. I go to Cali at the age of 15, and I'm partying in this club. And I asked this girl to dance. She's beautiful as hell. And then that one song that we were dancing, she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm like, where you from? Trying to play the I'm from the U.S. type of shit."
Yeah.
It's like, "Oh no, I'm from New Jersey."
I'll get you a green card, baby.
And the crazy part about it's like, "No, I'm from New Jersey." So then I'm like, "Oh shit, I'm from New York." And then we started talking about the places that that she partied in, because at 15 I was already in the clubs. I was already DJing and all that shit.
And then you end up hitting it that night. My boy. Then you end up hitting it.
I wish I was.
You were like New York, huh? New York, huh?
I wish that was the story. No, but the story's a lot different than that. So when the song finished, I went to take out again to dance. This girl disappeared. Like she just fucking went out, complete gone. Like I never saw her again.
She was probably in the bathroom taking a shit.
I don't know, brother, but
they do that.
Listen, that girl, she looked so beautiful at that time, and I never saw her again. About a year later, I'm in this club that I told her that I used to be in, and I see this girl dancing. I'm like, wait, that girl's like that girl from Colombia. When she turned around, it was exactly her.
How long was the difference?
About a year.
A year later.
So, but she was with her boyfriend at that time. So I didn't say nothing to her. The following week, it was a girls' night out. So she came down with all her friends. So I'm telling her, hey, you remember me from Colombia? You know, we partied at this place. Like, oh shit, yes, of course. So I was with all my boys. I introduced all my friends to her friends, and then we started hanging out. And then she had broken up with her boyfriend at that time. But
side nigga.
No, I never got to it. That was the point. But because I met her, that's when I met a bunch of people from Elizabeth. So I used to DJ at those days. So one day I'm DJing in this I throw a birthday party, and I invite all these people. So back where Mama Sushi is now, years ago, before Club Olé, before all that shit, there was a place called El Exclusivo. So there was
what year was this?
Talking about 95. So in 95, this guy that's a local salsa DJ from around here, because I used to be a salsa DJ. So back then, it's not like now, oh, let me get some music. You fucking plug it in, you get a hard drive, and that's it. You got everybody's music. Back then, to be a DJ, you could have been as great as you could be. If you don't have the fucking vinyl, you ain't got music. You're not a DJ. Like, you can't borrow, 10 crates of music and be like, I'll bring it back tomorrow. Like,
that's what I love. That's what I love about the old school DJ way. Like, having to have the vinyls, digging through the crates. It's not the same.
And not only
now.
that, not digging through the crates, it's actually being able to go to music stores that actually would have that song that you want.
I remember DJ Camilo posting up a TBT, and he wrote in the caption, before when DJing was really DJing, I remember bringing 12 crates to the club. And I remember thinking, damn, so you had to take your equipment plus the crates? And I'm like, wow, that's, that made me respect him even more.
No, back
work.
then, listen, DJs from those eras, those were real DJs. Like, hands down, like that.
Big facts.
And then the CDs came around, because that CD weren't even in at that time. So that's when CDs came around.
Then how old are you, Eddie?
Bro, I'm 42.
42? You don't look it. You look young as hell.
But I started very young. But then when CDs came around, then yeah, you were buying original music. Then it's like 97. That's when you were able to start burning music. They started selling the CD burners, and then that's when people started, oh, let me borrow some music. You'll go to your house, you'll record it, and you'll make your CD with like your 10, 12 songs, so you don't have to carry around 12 vinyls. You pick the best song out of that vinyl and you put it on that. You burn it, and you were able to burn song by song. So then that's when people started making their own music. At that time, that was like your hard drive. At that time, your thumb drive.
That's when the mixtapes started.
What was your DJ name at the time?
El Mono.
Oh, it was DJ Mono.
Yeah.
DJ Mono.
Yeah, because in Colombia, people that are white have like light eyes. They call them Mono.
Yeah. I heard.
Some people they Mono is like monkey. Nah.
Yeah. I heard. My ex dated something named Mono, so it's cool. I heard about y'all. I heard about y'all Monos.
So
I heard about y'all.
Going back to the story to the girl, when we started hanging out, I was gonna, the day I was gonna be like, oh, I really want to, start dating you. She tells me, like, right before I was able to tell her anything, she's like, oh no, I went back with my boyfriend and this and that. So that bubble went out the fucking door, right? So, but thanks to meeting her, I got to meet the city. I have never in my life came to Elizabeth prior to that.
What was your name?
Rocio.
Yo, shout out to Rocio. Thank you for bringing my bread to Elizabeth. Thank you.
So the beautiful part about that story, we made so many good friends, and I fell in love with the city. I'm like, you know what, the city's dope. Now we're talking about, you see how everything is dead at this time? My brother, when I came to this town, at 7 o'clock at night, there would not be one Spanish restaurant open. Like, every restaurant would be closed. Morris Avenue only had maybe like 2 Spanish restaurants.
What?
There was not one Spanish restaurant on Morris Avenue.
What year was this?
We're talking 95.
Damn.
So then there's a story that happened that it was kind of something that it was a tragedy that happened in Elizabeth. So going back to the story, after these people from Elizabeth heard me DJing, so back then, the DJ that was working at Exclusivo told the owner, listen, I want to raise, or I'm not DJing here no more. Now, when a DJ leaves you at that time, you can't just call another DJ because you got to have the music. But there was a guy sitting at that restaurant saying, yo, don't worry about it. Let that guy leave. I got this kid from New York who's incredible. Now, I was very well known in Queens, but nobody knew me here in Jersey. But the thing is that clubs in Jersey was so whack that everybody used to always party in Queens. That's why these girls used to take the drive from Elizabeth to Queens to go party, because that was the only place you were able to find the scene.
And how old were you when you was all this was happening in
16.
Elizabeth? So you were 16 when you came to Elizabeth?
I was 16.
You were 16?
Yeah.
Lit.
So at that time, the guy calls me up. I start DJing at that club, and that shit goes from being on a Friday night to ram-packed the following week, because everybody, the word spread. Oh shit, that DJ from New York is here. You know,
DJ Mono.
Yeah, but everybody knew me from Queens. So that shit became a hit. A few months later, there was a club called El Balcón on Elizabeth Avenue. You know where the church is now, right by City Tavern?
Yeah, Liberty Ave?
Yeah. That church used to be a nightclub.
Damn.
Years ago, it was called El Balcón. They did a team party in that club, and a fight broke out. Now there was people sneaking into the back door, so the property owner, so nobody was sneaking in the back door. He put a padlock. So when the fight broke out, people started panicking, and they ran down the steps, where 6 or 4 kids got killed that day.
Oh
Wow.
shit!
Yeah, so that was one of the biggest tragedies that Elizabeth has as a scar. That's one of the Elizabeth biggest scars, that those kids dying that day.
And this was still 95?
Yeah, this is 95, 96.
Damn, that shit happened in 95.
Yeah.
So the crazy part about it is because the city, now the city was being blamed for this. Because remember, the doors at that point, because you don't know the story, the doors, instead of opening out, they open in. So imagine, you got 100 people running down the stairs. The first one that gets to the stair doesn't have the opportunity to open up the door backwards. So all these kids got stomped.
And who was mayor at this time?
I think it was Mayor Bowich.
Bowich still?
Yeah, he's
Damn,
been
my
around.
boy.
Yeah, he's been around forever.
Damn.
So that triggered an investigation to all the bars and restaurants in Elizabeth that were operating with a liquor license. Well, what's one of the places where I was DJing? Exclusivo. So across the street from me, El Exclusivo, there was a salsa club called El Séptimo Cielo. When I started DJing there, nobody went back to El Séptimo Cielo. So that place went under. Who would have known that this place going under was going to become available? I didn't know that. So let me go back to the story, how I connect those dots. All right? So the city comes in, does an inspection at Exclusivo, the bar I was DJing at, and the owner, the city tells the owner, I understand you only releasing this bottom part, but the whole building, it's abandoned and it's not up to code. And if you want to stay in business down here, you got to bring up the whole building up to code. When you own a little bar, you're not going to fix a whole building that's not yours.
Facts.
So they pretty much were given no chances. They had to shut them down. So because I was doing parties prior to that, and I was doing a lot of Sweet 15s, and I was doing, banquet hall parties and all that stuff, I told the guy, listen, I have some money saved. Let's find another location, and we'll go half and half. You got the chairs, you got the tables, whatever, and I'll put up the money for like the bathrooms and the logistics part. The guy tells me, cool, let's do it. So I loaned him $10,000 because he had some immediate debts. And then about a week later, I immediately started working on it. I started finding out what were the realtors, back in the day was the Yellow Pages. So I found the realtor from this area.
My boy brought it back to the Yellow Pages.
Oh, no, I'm talking about before this technology shit came out. So I told it to this realtor, his name is Edwin Blick. Now I'm already 17 years old. All right? So I talked to Edwin Blick. I tell him, listen, I'm looking for a location. We're not in business there no more. We want to transfer our location to a new place. And then he says, oh, well, you're in luck. There's a bar literally right across the street from you that went out of business, and the landlord is looking for a new tenant. Well, who would have known that I put that bar out of business by DJing at this other club?
You were that good?
Well, it was salsa. So when it comes to salsa, like listen, I collect music. So
even to this day, you always tell me put salsa on, put salsa. You're like a salsa lover.
Well, I love there's two genres that I go with by heart. It's salsa and house. All the other shit is music. I appreciate it, but it's not my cup of tea.
I had a strong feeling you were gonna say house, especially the era that you've been explaining right now with the early '90s house and all that was really really big.
Well, you think my school friends were all Americanized, and my after school friends didn't speak English. So when you talk to me in Spanish, I talk to you in perfect Spanish.
You went to school out here in Elizabeth?
No, I dropped out of high school.
You dropped out?
Yeah.
All the millionaires drop out.
So, but hold on, let me go back to the story. So, after I found the location, right before I went to call the guy who used to own Exclusivo, the guy who had just gotten shut down, which was my boss at the time, and I told him, listen, you know, I think I found something. He says, oh, but wait, before you say anything, you know what? I've been really thinking about it. I don't really want to be partners with nobody. You know, let me get my back in my feet and I'll pay you back your $10,000. I'm like, wait a minute. This guy just told me that he didn't want to be in business with me. All right. I called Evan Blake up again, the realtor. I said, listen, I'm ready to move on to the place. But now it's going to be 100% me. I'm not doing it with nobody.
Bullshit.
So, but I only had like $35,000 saved because I already had loaned this guy another 10. The beautiful thing about it is the club, that was already an original club.
But hold up, you had $35,000 at 17 years old?
I was saving you money, bro.
Where would you get the money from?
How many, bro? You do a party and you do 500 people. You charge $20 to get in. Do your math.
I was bad at math. You gotta help me out, man. I was just like.
It's a lot.
5,000?
No.
Oh. Wait. Hey, Lou, help me out.
Yeah, I wasn't that great at math, kid. It was the wrong one.
So the money came from DJing.
So I started DJing and I was making good money.
Shit, I'm about to be a DJ. 35,000 at 17.
So, but listen, I was very disciplined. Like I didn't drink. I started drinking at the age of 23. Like I didn't drink prior to that. So
growing up in Elizabeth, trust me, you would have drank at 15.
No, brother, I grew up in the worst. I grew up in the project where everybody was fucking high, coked up at fucking 10.
But I feel like growing up in Elizabeth, you would have drank at 15. Am I right, Mario?
So long story short, I make a deal with the property owner. I find myself a friend that was was down to invest, and he also put up another additional $35,000. We opened that place with $70,000. The problem is that the guy was a little older than me, so we get the place, we open up, the place is killing it, and in a few months later, you know, my boy, obviously he was a little older than me. I was now at the time 18 when I get to open this place, and he was I think 20 or 21. So of course I would tell the bartender, hey, take care of this and that, and he would be like, oh no, don't listen to him, he's just a little kid. That's obviously because he was trying to bang the bartender or trying to bang a waiter. So that's the way that's pretty much how it went down with him. And at this point, pretty much everything was, you know, he was not listening to me. I told him, listen, we can't be partners no more. I bought him out, and that's it. And that's how I ended up staying with that place for 5 years.
You know what's crazy? At 17, 18, you was already on some ball shit. So you basically was already a natural.
Yeah, but you gotta remember, at 13 years old, I bought my first DJ equipment not because mommy gave me the money. Like I bought my DJ equipment because I was selling empanadas in the corner. Like I told my mom, listen, I want to be a DJ. She's like, well, I don't got the money to buy you the equipment. And then at this point, she had broken up with my brother's father, so now all the bills is pretty much on her. And if there's no man in the house, I gotta step up to the plate.
You know what that just reminded me? Gary V. Gary V started selling lemonade at 13 as well.
I did a car wash at 12.
Oh, you did? Oh, you trying to beat Gary V, my nigga? I feel you. No, but you know who Gary V is?
No.
He's a very well-known entrepreneur, you could say, and he started off at 13 in Edison, New Jersey, selling lemonade, just like you, like you know, y'all both. I would love to see y'all both in the same room, just you know, talking about all this shit and life, and I'll pay to see that convo between you and Gary V.
Maybe we make that happen one day. You never know.
Nah, fact. Shout out to Gary V, Jersey Zone.
That would be an interesting conversation. I'll show you videos of him after we're done, so you know who he is. But he's got millions of followers, I think, if I'm right now. He's a really, really well-known entrepreneur.
He's one of the owners of TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
And he always tells a story in his seminars. Real quick. He's like, I always regret never investing in Uber. I passed up on investing in Uber when my buddies came and brought me the proposition. I gave that up. I was like, nah, I'm good. Uber, please.
Well, you know what it is? It's very difficult to understand somebody else's vision. Listen, I have proven myself to many people over and over again, and there's been times where I've been, yo, listen, I got this opportunity, and a lot of people that have proven it to them already be like, nah, I don't know, you know. And the thing is that it's very difficult to envision what somebody else is seeing when you don't have the idea of the scope of the project.
Fair.
So this is where you know, this is what you call the high risk business, you know, the high risk investment. You know, you could make a lot or you could lose it all, and most times people lose it all because you're putting your money behind somebody else's wet dream. And the reality is that most times if the person doesn't have discipline, they're not gonna make it.
Well, I've had a lot of wet dreams. You feel me, Lou? I had a lot of those.
So yeah, 5 years later, I had Palo Rumberos.
And Palo Rumberos, that was only salsa, right?
That was salsa only, but only on Friday and Saturdays. On Thursdays, I used to do college nights, and that's how I don't know if you guys ever heard of Pantera Productions.
Mm-mm.
It's a promoters. They they're up there now. Actually, Luna.
Oh, okay. He was part of that?
That's how me and him became friends.
Oh, shout out to Luna Life.
Yeah. So, you know, I got a lot, my stories has a lot of people that have been very meaningful at a certain specific time in my life that if they weren't there, I don't think I would have been here right now. Like Leo was one of them. Like Leo gave me a heads up that changed my whole life.
What was the heads up?
I was losing my lease. You see, when I did the lease for Palo Rumberos, I did a 10-year lease, but it was a 5 and 5. And I was supposed to notify the landlord 6 months prior my expiration date that I was gonna, you know, I was gonna stay as a tenant. And the crazy part about it is that I went, started remodeling this place, putting up all my money fixing this place, and then Leo comes in one day and says, "What the fuck are you doing?" I'm like, I'm remodeling the place. I'm like, "Yo, Eddie, they're not gonna give you another lease." And I'm like, "Well, what do you mean?" I'm like, "Bro," because Leo used to own a sign company at that time. It was called Sign City. So they called him to start measuring the building so they could put up the new sign once I was evicted, once I was done with my lease. And that was 3 months. So pretty much in March was my expiration date for my lease. So Leo comes up to me, he's like, "Nah, Edwin, don't put up another dollar." So I called the property owner the next day. She's like, "No, Edwin, we didn't hear from you. So we need the space, but since you didn't take advantage of the 6 months, we took it as you're not gonna stay as a tenant.
Damn.
So you got up to March, but in March you're out of here." And now just imagine I have no money. Just spent all my money remodeling this building to a place that they're gonna tear down in 3 months.
Oh shit.
And this is where Barcode is now.
No, Palo Rumberos.
But I'm talking about the same location.
No, Palo Rumberos was across the street.
Oh,
That's
okay.
the new building I just finished buying.
Well, the second home is.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the crazy part about it is.
Hey, hold on. You said you just bought the building now?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Chill,
the whole 360.
That's our secret parking spot for Barcode. You giving it away.
So the crazy part about that is that now I have no money and I need another place.
Damn.
The fuck am I gonna do?
So wait, so real quick, what would have happened if Luna never came and told you?
I probably would have never been able to bounce out of that. Because you see, back then you were only able to move your license 1,500 feet from the place it was before. So there was no place within 1,500 feet that was available at those days. At that time, Club Olé already existed, so there was no way for me to relocate myself. Crazy part about it is that where Coco Bongo was, now Barcode, there used to be a furniture store. It was A1 Furniture or something.
Really?
Yeah. So the guy who owned the property, he was selling the property. So I called my friend from the city, and I told him, "Yo, I need help. I need you to either help me get another location or see if city council will consider, extending the 1,500 feet. He says, Edwin, you're not gonna believe what just happened. Yesterday, City of Elizabeth turned down an application right across the street from your club. There was a furniture store, and that they were gonna convert it into a senior citizens home building, and we turned it down because of the nightclub. We didn't think that a nightclub would be good to be right next to a senior citizens home, so we just turned it down. Why don't you go talk to that property owner? I went to talk to the property owner. He told me, listen, I'm not selling. I'm not renting. I just want to sell the building because I can't even talk about buying the buildings. I have no money. So now I gotta pretty much gamble it. So I told the guy, listen. I told him my story. I told him what happened to me, and he told me, you know what? I'm gonna consider this. So I offered him back then for that place. The rent would have been at market rate. It would have been around $4,000 a month.
Damn.
I offered him $5,000, $1,000 more than what he would have normally gotten. And then he was selling the building at $375 at that time. So I told him, listen, how about you do this? Give me a 10-year lease. I'll pay you $5,000 in rent, $1,000 more than you would have normally gotten, but I'll give you $100,000 more when it's time to buy the building. Now I'm talking out of my ass. I ain't got no money for none of this shit.
How old were you?
What, 20, 22, 23?
Oh, okay.
So at this point, he tells me, you know what? I ain't got nothing to lose. That project just got turned down, so by the time I find another buyer, I could start making some money with the place right now. So he accepted. He gave me the 10-year lease at $5,000 rent. But I put in the contract that he had to sell me the building for $475 any time in those 10 years. At $475. Like if the property was worth more, that's it. He was tied down to that. But he was happy because he was making $100,000 more than he was gonna make anyway. So now I have a conversation going, but now I have to give this guy a deposit. New Year's has always been a very big day of the year for me. But remember, New Year's today is not the same thing as New Year's back in 2000.
What you mean? What do you mean by that?
Financially, like people were spending less money, liquor bottles were a lot less. So the income was not nowhere near to what we have today. So on New Year's, I had to come up with 2 months of rent, and 1 month of rent and 2 security. So that means I had to come up with $15,000, and I have no money. Why is it that on New Year's Eve, I made about $13,000, and I had $2,000 in float money in cash, just for bases, as a float money. I gathered all that money together, and I went to the guy on January 2nd, and I gave him the $15,000. Now I don't even have float money for the weekend, so I told my employees at that time, I'm like, guys, I'm gonna need you guys to help me out. We have an opportunity to move now to the new place. I got the new place, but I don't have money for payroll. And I told my staff my situation. Now, I've always been the person that takes care of my staff. And for 2 weeks, they didn't charge me no money. So that money that I was not able to pay them in payroll, I was able to gather it together again to build up my float money so I could continue working.
They all understood?
Yeah, they know that we're out of business.
That's lit.
So, but remember, it was only, back then I only had like 11, 12 employees.
Fact. But there's always that one like, hold on, I'm not getting paid. I'm not working for free. I'm out.
But remember that this club was always packed.
Oh, okay.
So it's not like they were not making money. Like I was just not asking them to give me their tip money. I was just, I don't want to pay you for your shift. So, if you could help me out, like it was voluntary. It's not like I told you have to do it.
And once you pay them, the rest is history.
No, so they gave me the okay. The man that sold me the liquor license at that time, he like God works in mysterious ways. Like there was a lawsuit because he when I was buying the license off of him, there was a lawsuit that happened because of one of my ex-partner. So 5 years later, the lawsuit is ready to be settled. So I told this guy, listen, I need help. I need to transfer the license. And he says, well, I can't give you the license to transfer, Edwin, because what's going to tell me that when this lawsuit goes against me, you're going to just say, tough luck. So, and I told him, listen, Arnie, honestly, I'm not going to be in business if I don't have this liquor license moved across the street. And I walked him across the street. All I had was a screwdriver, a hammer in one hand, and the keys to a place that I had no money to put up. And I told Arnie, listen, this is where I'm at. I lost everything. I'm now scrambling for an investor, and you know, I don't know what to tell you.
So you basically risked it all.
Everything. So when I told him that, he said, you know what? I've always heard that you've been running this place at a very well, like you're doing a good job, and I'll come back tomorrow with something. And I told him, he asked me though, like, how much money do you think you're gonna need? I said, well, I don't know, maybe 150, 180,000. He come back the next day. He says, you know what, Edwin? I know you're a hardworking kid. You've always been a man of your word. I'm gonna take 50% of your business, and here's 180,000. He gave me a bag full of money.
Wow.
And that's how I was able to invest the money for that place. And then 3 months later, remember this happened in January. I closed Palo Rumberos, and the second week of April, we opened up Palo Rumberos with El Gran Combo. And then Coco Bongo that's when Coco Bongo was born. And it lasted, 16 years?
Damn, 16?
16 years. And then obviously everything dies down. At this point, people, you know, the new generation, they don't really want to party with their aunts and uncles and moms and dads would party.
I was gonna say, I remember growing up, and I remember my older sister saying, "Oh, I'm going to Coco Bongos." I didn't know where it was. I didn't know what it was, but when I got older, I don't. But my older sister used to go there heavily when I was a kid. All the time. My older sister now, she is 40.
40.
She's 40.
Shout out to Coco Bongo, man. I went to a lot of females' house where they'd be like, listen, my aunt, my mom about to go, come in 30 minutes. Boom. I spent the whole night over there. Shout out to Coco Bongo, bro. It got me a lot. It got me some good times.
Yeah, so then Coco Bongo, it was lit, man. 16 years.
I remember every time passing it was a line out there.
Always,
it was great.
Always.
It was great times. A lot of ups and downs, obviously.
16 years. That's amazing, bro.
For a nightclub, listen, let's look at it like this. It's not just 16 years. It's now really 20 years because 16 years Coco Bongo, and now in June, May 26th will be the 4th year of Barcode.
4 years already?
I remember the first time you texted me the grand opening invite.
I remember when it opened, yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
And it's now going to be 4 years. So, yeah, it's a 20-year run at that location.
I was
Still lines around the corner,
remember
too.
because I was dating Monica. Fucking over, so I invited Monica to come, and she came to the grand opening with me.
Yeah, so
that's how I remember. But damn, so Palo Rumberos, it was Coco Bongo.
Yeah.
And from Coco Bongo.
Well, Coco Bongo to Club Venue, and then back to Coco Bongo. That's when I was kind of desperate at the end. I was already trying everything. And I think the failure for Coco Bongo days was the layout, the concept. You know, we were still following the whole Vegas, New York City, VIP table concept.
I never been in this. I wouldn't know. It was like a Vegas type?
Well, it was a dance floor and a shitload of VIPs all the way around.
Was the patio in the back open?
We had the patio, but the city was giving a lot of hard times at that time. And so we were not really able to use it as the way we use it now. Because we always had this one neighbor who was always complaining about the sound. And he made it his personal business to give us a hard time.
Really?
But then the reality is that, there's laws, you could complain about it, but, he's living in a commercial zone.
Exactly.
But he wants to be respected as residential. And then on top of that, the city they were not as educated as they are now, because I made it my personal issue to bring everybody up to speed on the law. And when they started doing the investigation, yeah, you could complain about it, but if you have a train that passes at 90 decibels and you got cars and you got all this stuff, you can't just say, I'm okay with the sound for the train, I'm okay with the sound for this car and that car and this dog barking, but I'm not going to like the sound for the club.
Yeah.
Noise is noise. Like, you can't just...
I got to ask, was he white?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
White guy with a Mexican tenant. God, it was the worst.
Oh man.
But listen, we have built a better relationship with the guy. So.
Oh, he's still there.
Oh, he's still there.
Oh,
he still complains, but like. Obviously, we're going through this massive construction.
Stop lying, Eddie. You sent niggas over there to fuck him up. You did you?
Nah,
because if he can play for Coco Bongo, I can imagine the pool parties now.
Like the crazy part about it is that, once the city was brought up to speed, then his argument has to be like, I'm abusing the law.
Fact.
And at the end of the day, when the inspectors come out and they do the sound measurements, and I'm within my limits. Well, at this point, you cannot make an argument, But before, they were not even sending people out; they were just taking his word as, they're complaining. And the thing is that most
because he's white.
Well, not only that, he's white. His attorney is well connected. I was much younger.
You wasn't the Eddie that you're on now.
Well, it's very different. I'm obviously more business educated now.
Facts.
Before, you come at me barking, and I'll come back and say, "Fuck you,"
So I knew it. You sent niggas over there to fuck him up, Eddie.
But now I'm more political. Like now, okay, that's your argument. Let me look at the law. And then when you put the law in front of somebody who's a politician, they're gonna have to work on the law. They can't just be on. I'm gonna give him. I'm gonna be on his benefit, but I'm not gonna help you out because at the end of the day, I'm also a taxpayer. I'm also an influential person in my city. You disrespect me as an influential person. Don't think that this is just gonna sit around. I'm just not. I'm gonna leave it alone.
Talk your shit, Eddie.
That's my livelihood.
In other words, you get Pablo Escobar, nigga.
No. Listen. At the end of the day, there's laws for everybody. Like at the end of the day, you have to listen. I'm a business owner. I pay taxes. I employ people, and I also put Elizabeth on the map.
Facts.
That you can't come and bark at me. You go look at the guy's property. The guy's shop is falling apart. He bitches because he sleeps in his own shop at night. He's not supposed to sleep in there. And then you want to complain at me because you can't sleep at night? You're not supposed to be there.
Eddie, tell him.
So, so the guy really doesn't have an argument.
He sleeps there. I'm about to go knock on the garage door like, hey, wake up, cuz.
But he doesn't really have an argument.
Facts.
So, but obviously you learn those things once you're a little bit more mature, you're more educated, and you're able to, to look at things a lot different,
And let me ask you something, Eddie. Then I don't mean to cut you off. What year can you say that you looked at Coco Bongo and be like, okay, Coco Bongo is declining?
I would say year 15. You see, at that point, you gotta understand too that
2015.
Well, you gotta understand that around those days, we're talking about in 2013 is when we opened up Lobby. So Lobby was the new place, was the fresh place, was the one that had the new patio, and I didn't have a patio at that time at Coco Bongo. So how do you beat the new hot spot with a rundown club?
And how do you beat yourself?
Exactly. So, I created Lobby. I created the concept. I created the name, but what I did with Lobby, I kind of took my experience from Coco Bongo, which it was the whole VIP concept, and you need to spend 2-3 bottles to sit there, because that's what I started noticing at the end of Coco Bongo too. Coco Bongo would be brand packed, and out of 35 VIPs, maybe 7 or 8 were being used. The rest were empty. And we were not letting people sit there because obviously there was a bottle minimum. So the bottle minimum, it really come down to, does people really have that kind of money? And then I started realizing, those days are they're changing, People had just come out of a recession. We're talking about 08, 09. And it bounces back, but very slowly.
Okay, what are drug dealers when you need them?
For real. So, and one thing too, Coco Bongo was never a club I was not a hip hop club. So I was not, engaging in the market. Like my market was the 9 to 5 people.
I remember there was a situation too that happened at Coco Bongo. Did this situation affect you? I heard it was like a shootout on a Wednesday, hip hop night, and somebody got shot in the head outside.
Yeah. So, well, again, it was a tsunami, pretty much. Like business was already doing bad. it was already slow, and one of my customers, it was a Thursday night actually. I was not even here. I was in Colombia. The guy left the club. Two guys with a mask, comes up to the guy and says, "Give me your money," and he said, "I ain't giving you shit." So they shot him right there. The guy pretty much dies.
Went out like a G.
And yeah, so now what happens is the media destroyed it, made it sound like,
oh man, I can imagine.
There was a shootout in Coco Bongo. I couldn't go out and say, oh no, it was not in Coco Bongo, it was down the street, it was one of our customers that was getting robbed. What was gonna sound worse?
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'm going to a club and somebody comes up with a gun and shoots me.
I wouldn't be surprised if the media were like, and Eddy G was one of the max gunmen.
Well, obviously, the media did their part. Their job is to talk about what's negative. Their job is never to take anything positive.
Always.
Because the negative thing is what people pay attention to.
I was just having this conversation with somebody the other day. I, like with the pandemic and stuff, I tell them like they report you all the negative, but never tell you any of the positive stuff that's going on. That's why people are so scared the way they are.
So that was you had the shooting. You already had Coco Bongo at a decline, and business was horrible for us. So at that point, I had to make a business decision whether it was to continue it or shut it down and rebrand it. And after trying the club venue and back to Coco Bongo, that's when I realized I'm not doing it right, because what I was really doing was just I built my own furniture, I built my own my own designs, I designed my own places. So it's not like I spend money on building a couch. I buy the fabric, I buy the styrofoam, the foam, and I build these shits myself. So it's not like I was spending money on that. But the reality is that I was taking money from other places to sustain this club, and that's when I'm like, you know what, this is just not gonna work for me. So I took the model that I had built at Lobby, and I came up with the concept of Barcode.
Where did the name Barcode come from?
I used to go to this place in the city years ago. In Times Square, it was called Barcode, but it was not a nightclub. It was like an arcade. But I love the whole concept of the logo, and they went out of business.
It makes sense because when you in the grand opening, it was bowling, it was like basketball, it was baseball. You took all that out now.
Well, the problem is that when we put the bowling alley, it was maybe once a day or twice a day somebody was fucking with the machines. And then I had people who were working for me that didn't know how to, fix it when somebody would damage it. Because you have to know the technical parts, how these machines work.
Yeah, I only used it once.
Yeah, so
I never touched it.
But it looked nice.
It does. It
looked nice. It was cute, but it was not producing any money for us. So that's when I decided to remove it and build the DJ booth and kind of my stage there. So that was how that transition happened.
And that's how Barcode came alive.
Well, Barcode came to life.
You know one thing about Barcode too? It's crazy how Barcode in other people's eyes, like from New York, when I go to club appearances, the owners always come up to me and be like, yo, I know you're cool with Eddy G. Can he please come and give me tips to make my club like Barcode? Like Barcode in New York is like seen as like a massive club. In New Jersey.
Imagine they're seeing it like that now, and right now it's just a fucking tent. Imagine when this whole construction gets built.
And that's what gets me mad, because you do this club in Elizabeth, and people from Elizabeth always seem to talk shit regardless.
But you know what it is? It's because, you gotta understand that. Listen, nobody's gonna talk shit about the person that's already in the gutter. People always gonna talk shit about the person that's up high.
That's my new Instagram caption right there.
So to me, I look at it as compliments. The reality is that the average person talking shit about you, he's really complimenting you in one way or the other.
And there's always people from your own city, always.
And
always.
Listen,
because I'm telling you right now, when I go to New York, everybody from New York, I've been to Tidal, I've been to Hot 97, I've been to Complex. They all mention Barcode like if it's a massive club. Like, yo, I gotta go. Can you get me in? I gotta go to Barcode.
When we went to Rock Nation, we went to Tidal. The girl, who was it? The one that worked
Jazz
for She was on it. She's like, oh yeah, I need to go to Barcode. I keep hearing about this club, Barcode.
She's friends with DJ Cameraman. she told me, she was like, yo, they all speak highly of him. I'm like, yo, whatever, everything you're saying is facts.
If you see, because we're there every week, we don't really look at it as much. I'm not really out in most. I don't go to clubs. I usually just if I'm gonna have a night for myself, I stay home, or if I have the time, I'll just go on vacation and go look at other clubs that I would really want to imitate with something that I like. Around here, I think everything is.
They're ungrateful. That's what they are.
No. I think listen. I prefer to try to if somebody say copied something, I want to do it from somebody who really did it the way I would, something that I would admire. Like when I go to Cancun, I admire the way they run their clubs over there, because of the designs, the light shows. They're not afraid to spend money, and that's how I envision me doing it over here. Now, the nightlife that the Jersey have today, in one way or the other, you got to complement that to a few people that I could say, like, I could go back and say, like, this gentleman, Eugene, the one that used to own Club Rise. He does the New York Minute. He's a legend in nightlife. You know, he did all the down the shore nightclubs. And, you know, till the last minute, he sustained very, very strong. He's very knowledgeable. There's very little people that I could say I give real credit to in this industry. But kind of what I created is something like, for example, like the Costa and Dimitri from Mr. East. Before that, I used to go to when I had my club Palo Romero's, I couldn't wait to go on a Wednesday night to Wildlife Wednesdays at Club Abyss. But like I would go in there and it's like I was walking into like a college, you know, I was like, oh my God, like I have never seen a moving head before. And I saw it for the first time at Club Abyss.
A moving head?
A moving head, lights. Yeah. That didn't exist.
Abyss was one of the first clubs I went to because they were the only clubs around here that used to hold a teen night. So when I was younger, I used to go there and that line would be around the fucking corner.
Yeah, that was my first club too.
So to me, there's very few people to look up to, but I kind of think that it was orchestrated between a few people, and we're the ones responsible for the nightlife that today Jersey has.
Facts.
Like anybody who calls himself a promoter, I could put my money on. Most of them started either at my clubs or Dimitri or Costa and Dimitri or Rise. Before that, that's like we were the first ones to actually establish that.
The Mount Rushmore.
And then the promoters were born, and then you have all these club owners that, these places that took their chairs and tables and turned it into like little clubs by adding a few speakers and lights, and now lounges were born.
Shots fired, shots.
And it's the truth. It's not one of them could say that that's not true. Like, oh my God, I woke up today and I want to open up a lounge. No,
fact. And I always tell you, Eddie, you too nice, man. I feel like anybody that talks shit about Barcode and you from Elizabeth, I'll ban you. Just ban them.
No.
Ban.
No.
You don't like it? Oh, I like the hookah. Ban. Oh, it's too much to get in. Ban. I don't like the security. Ban. Oh, the bathroom's dirty. Ban. Oh, ban. I don't even want to hear it no more. Ban. I'll just ban everybody, and I'll bet you 2 months I'm gonna be begging you to unban them.
Listen.
Like, oh, what happened? I thought you didn't like Barcode. No, man, I was just playing. I just wanted to put something on Twitter. Now, fuck you, man. You banned. Go to New York. That's how I would have done it if I was you.
Those are your biggest fans.
Nah, well,
they talk shit, but they're there every week.
Banned. That's what I would have done. You want to come back? Kiss my feet. Nah, you on banned now.
But the same ones,
man.
And it irks me because real quick, because I noticed all the people that talk shit on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, High Five, MySpace, all them, they be there every weekend.
Yeah.
I be looking at them like, my nigga, wasn't you just talking shit about Barcode last week? Like, come on, man. I would have banned these mother. I would have banned these clowns.
I think. Listen, I look at it like this. They'll talk shit, fine. At the end of the day, they're the ones working all week long, and I'm the one collecting their paycheck on the
facts. Oh, talk dirty.
That's how I look. You want to talk shit about me?
That's true.
Give me your bi-weekly checks, nigga.
And
Eddie fucked my girl, bang. Yo, I'm tired, Eddie, and you be too nice. You be like, don't worry about it. Nah, bro, it irks the shit out of me.
Listen. Again, if you start fighting every battle that comes your way, you're never gonna live in peace, man.
Oh no, I love it. I sleep like a baby, even after I talk shit to every hater in my videos, in the comments. Oh, you're not funny. Suck my dick. Oh, you did it. Suck my dick. Oh, I'm gonna follow you. Suck my dick. I said suck my dick like 30 times a day. I love it, and I sleep like a baby.
But you know what? I look at it like this. I'm 42 years old. I'm building a massive empire, and that comes with responsibilities, and that also comes with people hating on you. It's, remember, you got to remember one thing too. You got people who spend their whole life, like they're working 9 to 5, and their life is still that little box.
Facts.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, honestly, sometimes being a 9 to 5 is actually great, because that's all the responsibilities you have. We have a bigger weight in our shoulders. Like, if something goes wrong, it could really put you out completely. Like right now, this whole scenario that we're all going through, the whole COVID-19 bullshit. The smart ones are the ones going to survive this shit. The people who know how to work numbers, the people who know how to balance their businesses, the people who have some kind of savings, the people that have paid taxes, that could go to a bank and say, listen, I need a loan. The bank is going to be able to see, well, okay, this guy's bankable, so I can give him a loan. All these people that run, that they go and say, oh, no, don't pay me cash, or these people that, these promoters that go and collect door money, and then they split the money with their friends, and they go out and party and buy bottles. Those are the ones that are going to be pretty much, like, washed out once the shit is over.
Facts.
And it's going to be the smart ones that are going to be able to survive this whole tsunami. This is a fucking tsunami. Like,
it really is.
I don't see how many people are going to survive this.
Especially small businesses.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
and you was mentioning...
Any business that you don't have let's start with the landlords. If you don't have a good relationship with the landlord, and the landlord's not willing to work with you, that's already going bad. Because you're going to be able to open up your business already owing 3-4 months in rent. And you don't know if the landlord's going to be like, yo, I want my money now. And now if your rent is $10,000, you're already $40,000 negative. And then you still have to consider you got your electricity, your gas, your insurance, all these other payments that you have coming up. So if you don't have that cushion saved, then that's going to be a problem for a lot of people. And that's just starting with that. You're talking about, all right, now when you go open up your doors, beautiful, you open up your doors. People still haven't worked. And a lot of people are gonna get out to work to pay back money that they probably borrowed from friends because they didn't have money to eat. Because they were too busy living their best life.
Mm-hmm.
Right before the shit happened. They were going to the Barcodes, the lobbies, and buying bottles and all this shit. And don't get me wrong, I don't criticize that because that's the business that I'm in. But I'm taking myself out of being an owner now. I'm talking to you as a business person that's very well balanced with his numbers. A lot of people don't take that stuff into consideration. So when you go in and this shit opens up for everybody, I might want to not even open as soon as people were able to go back to being open. Because I know that maybe I might open my doors and expecting 1,000 people and only 100 show up. Well, I can't break even with 100 people. So I have to kind of see where the ambience is and how much people are really going out. Or maybe project myself 30 days later with a massive grand opening. So people now save a little bit of money, so they're able to say, okay, yo, we're going to go to Barcode's grand opening again.
They get prepared.
Yeah, but if you do that, okay, let's go back and open up, and you think you're going to have 1,000 people walk in, that's not going to happen. And then I guess you're also going to also realize that we're going to have new restrictions. This whole social distancing shit, they might say, let's get America to go back to work, but really back to work to what? Like, let's talk about going back to work. How do you go back to work to a restaurant when they're going to tell you, we want you to, if your place holds, 100 people seating, you could only have 50 people. Well, at 100 people, most restaurants were not even breaking even. So now you got to break even at 50, and your rent is still this high. I
was wondering that too, how it would work with clubs and social gatherings when you go now. Because when this is over, I think that social distancing is going to be in place for at least a little while longer, even after they open doors to certain places.
Again, the only way I see people surviving if the government creates a special grant for nightclubs, bars, restaurants, and I see it more happening towards the restaurants. I don't see that happening towards the clubs, because I don't see how government looks at nightclubs as an essential business for the community. It's a place where we're gonna go get drunk. That's a reality. Like, you don't go to a club to,
It's more for leisure.
Yeah,
it's more to live by.
And the bad niggas being moms.
So. We don't know what's going to be the reality to the business. But what is going to be realistic is once you're given a green light, as an owner, you have to know how to adjust your numbers so you could be somehow profitable, even if you're only making this much money. But again, you have to be in the business to know how to do that. If you don't know how to do that, then those are the ones I start seeing, one by one getting out of the industry.
And let me ask you something. So you mentioned Lobby, right? And you mentioned how Barcode came about. What other clubs are you involved in?
Oh, I have put together plenty of clubs. You're talking about, since I started, you're talking about Patria in Broadway.
I remember Patria.
Patria was incredible. Again, that was bad partnership. That place was incredible, but...
How long did it last?
That one lasted, I think, 5 years.
Wow.
5 years. And, but partnership was horrible. And that's what pretty much put that place out of business.
Jeez, what else?
Orale. You're talking about... I had a Coco Bongo in Tampa. Club Show.
I remember Club Show.
Yeah, I remember Show. Show was great.
Bad partnership. That's one thing too. Like I always tell people, like if you go into business with people that they don't see eye to eye to you with you as a partnership, most likely the place is not gonna last. Because I'm the type of person that I'll give my all. And if my partners that I'm with are not appreciating what I'm doing, I walk away. And it's plain and simple. Like that place went out of business. I gave the keys to my partner. I said, you know what? Here's the place.
Toma.
6 months later, you're not gonna be in business. And he was out of business in 3.
Damn.
And because the truth is, everybody thinks this shit is easy.
That's the Eddie I like.
People think that it's fuck it. I'll hire DJ Camilo and Alice Sensation and all that stuff. Yeah, that might be good for that one night. What about all the other nights?
Mm-hmm. And what about Orale? I heard there was like a situation that happened over there as well.
Orale was a very similar situation, where when I moved the liquor license from Cafe to Show, where Chupitos is now, I ended up having that corner empty by itself. So I was thinking about opening the pizzeria. This pizzeria idea, I've had it for many years prior to Crust. And I used to go to where Orale is. There used to be a place called M Cafe. It was like a little Italian restaurant. It was owned by these guys from Michelino's.
What year was this?
We're talking about 7, 8 years ago.
Okay.
So
yeah, because I don't remember the pizzeria. So
I went to him and I said, listen, I want to open up a pizzeria. I don't want to compete with Michelino's. I know you guys have your shit straight. What if we do like another Michelino's concept over here, but we call it something else? You have all these restaurants and bars that are open, and there's no place open late with a pizzeria. So
all we had was Tropicana.
Yeah, and I told them, listen, I'll put up the money. We'll go half and half. So I had prior to that been telling him that we should take the M Cafe and switch it to something else. And the crazy part about it is that when I offered him that, a few days later, it's like, yo, remember you always been telling me for us to switch this place around? What if you give me 50% over there, and I'll give you 50% over here? So it was like a trade-off, right? So I went, we ordered, now remember, Orale was just redesigning the place, and the pizzeria, I had to build it from scratch. So that was going to take a lot more money, and it was going to be a lot longer.
Okay.
So when I did I went, got the permits, got the blueprints made to do the pizzeria. That's when he told me, let's do Orale. Now Orale was just maybe a few days of just painting the place and changing the name and creating this concept. So when I offered him that, and he came back to me, we went ahead, we went full force.
When you say he, who are you referring to?
With Mike.
Mike, okay.
Mike, the guy from Miguelino.
Okay.
So we open up, I come up with the name, I come up with the logo, I come up with the concept, and I lend Orale the money, because Orale didn't have the money at the time. So we open the place up, the place becomes a massive hit from day one.
Yeah, I remember I used to go there a lot.
And that shit was ram-packed every weekend.
I met Stephanie there. Shout out to Stephanie.
So I had a guy that used to work for me by the name of Paco. And Paco, he was being one of my managers. So I said, you know what? You've been good with me. I'm going to give you, I own 50% of this. I'm going to give you half of that. I'm going to give you 25%. So that's more as an incentive. He had to put up no money. So the crazy part about it is that we opened the place up. Months later, about 7-8 months later, the guy from Michelino's told me, I don't really want to be partners no more. We want to continue running this place on our own. And I'm like, but we made a deal. He's like, yeah, we're not really interested with the pizzeria because I think that's going to compete with Michelino's.
Sounds funny.
So we might as well just listen. We'll take back your 50%, and then this way you don't have to give us 50% with the pizzeria. Well, of course. Now it's beautiful because I just fucking took your fucking loss of a business and turned it into a gold mine, and I still have to go build out my pizzeria with no knowledge of pizza.
Mm-hmm.
The reason of me bringing him as a partner was because I had no knowledge of the pizzeria. But I had to order my equipment for the pizzeria. I gave the guy, I think it was like $50,000. I gave him with my credit card. We purchased the equipment, and the equipment was delivered to his pizzeria. So after this whole shit happens, I tell Paco, brother, this is what's going down. I later found out that these guys went behind my back, told Paco, we're gonna kick him out, we're gonna keep you, but we don't want him anymore. So Paco, instead of being the guy because I looked out for him, like I gave you a percentage just for being my employee, and instead of being loyal to me, he went and took the deal with them. So of course these motherfuckers felt, oh no, we don't need him because Eddie's not the one. He's not the one running the business. Paco's the one running the business. So we'll keep Paco with his percentage. We're just not gonna own 25% more.
So they basically used you, milked you, and then just boom, get out.
And then my boy that was supposed to be loyal to me, fucked me over. Because he should have been like, nah, if Eddie leaves, I leave.
Exactly.
If he would have said that, they would have never be able to pull it off. So they do that, and then that place went boom, 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 and it declined.
That's the karma.
That was the end of Orale. The crazy part about it is that same day that I had the meeting with Paco, I had just struck the deal with the lobby. So I made the deal with Perkins at that date. That was before lobby was called Perkins, and I told Paco, and I brought Paco into lobby. Before it was still Perkins, and I told Paco, listen, I know these people are gonna try to screw me over, but if you stay with me, I'll keep you with a percentage from lobby. Like, I'm gonna give you a percentage from lobby. Just be loyal to me. And Paco's like, bro, I got my kids, I got my family, and this is gonna take a long time before you open it. He already had made his mind. Yeah. But try to use the excuse of the family to justify him being like, yo, yeah. I'm sorry, I gotta eat.
And he didn't trust your vision.
He didn't trust my vision. And at that time, that's exactly what happened. And he didn't trust my vision. He lost over here. I don't know what. I think he's working in some restaurants now.
I was saying he's got to be kicking himself.
People who believe in my vision, they're kicking.
And if Paco came, I don't know who Paco is, but if he came to you like, yo, I want to do something with Barcode.
Listen, I don't. You know what it is? I don't hold grudges anymore. I think that if you live your life always holding negative things that happen, you're never gonna move on to bigger and better things.
I feel like that comes with age, though. I feel like that comes the older you get, more maturity, and then you just start like, and you know what, fuck it, let live. And
yeah, I feel like the older you get,
honestly, you know what? Let me tell you something. Like, I have. You would have told me this 3-4 years ago, 5 years ago, like, fuck that nigga.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck Paco.
And you know what? I look at it like I know he's been through some difficult times that I don't wish that upon anybody. And only God knows why he made the decisions that he made. Obviously, he used the family as an excuse. I don't know what I would have done if I would have been in that situation. But I don't see myself ever fucking anybody over to get ahead. And also, who knows what these people promise him.
Yeah.
But obviously,
But look what they are now.
Yeah, they're pretty much...
that promise was bullshit.
The place was done, and that's it.
See, but my question to you now is, right... Eddie, you do all these clubs and everything, all this entertainment shit. If it wasn't for that, aside entertainment, what would you do if it wasn't for entertainment? Like, what do you think Eddy G would be doing right now if it wasn't nightclubs? Because it's quite clear you're still a visionary, bro. So you'd still be doing something.
You know, my whole thing is, you know, I'm never not gonna go down with a fight. That's for sure. Like, I'm always gonna pull up a fight. If my industry was to listen, we don't know what's gonna happen. The good thing is that now, because I learned my lesson, I invested in a lot of properties. So if it comes down to that, maybe one day I have to turn Barcode into a fucking hospital and become get into listen. The good thing is that once you own property, you have equity.
Every hospital bed comes with a hookah.
But you know, it comes down to having your mind open for multiple things. The beautiful thing about it is that at my age of 42, I could already say I did it.
Facts.
And nobody could take that away from me. Even if this industry never goes back to normal ever again, while it lasted, I was one of the.
Well, don't say never go back to normal, man, because I miss clubbing.
Listen, you gotta remember one thing, guys, that you got all these DJs that are charging, like in the house music world, 30, 40, 50, 100,000, 200,000. Those days for those guys might be gone.
Yeah.
Because what happens if they say, all right, we're no longer going to allow people to go back to being socializing in those, you know, where you could be in a concert and you got the next guy next to you like that. Mm-hmm. Or now it's allowed, but people are mentally not ready for that. You don't know what's going to happen.
You're right.
So the reality is we have to be able to adjust to what's going to happen. And the only way you know that is with time. Time is only going to be the best answer to all the stuff that's going on right now. Every prediction. Listen, even the fucking models these people put up. Oh, we're going to have 200 theft. We're not even going to hit 60 to the way the numbers are moving right now.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So everybody's projection is off. So right now, you're expecting people to have livelihoods designed around projections that are not realistic. So I can't go ahead right now and tell you guys this is what I'm going to do. Because I don't know what's going to happen when it's time for that to happen, for those doors to open. I might have to readjust my whole business to a new model and try to see if it's even feasible at that time. Maybe I might have to make my whole fucking building a hotel. I don't know what's going to happen. But at the end of the day, we have to be smart about how we spend our money. You know, we have to be smart how we adjust to the new times and how to be somehow profitable even if you're only making this much money. So the reality is that we gotta give it time. We don't know. The government's gonna let us know where we're gonna be, and we have to see. Maybe we might have to just sell everything and move to another country that might not be so fucking.
No, Eddie, don't say that.
Listen, we don't know. You think half of the people that have left their countries from Colombia, from other places that leave because they want to, people sometimes don't have choices.
Facts.
So we just got to be able to adapt or to reinvent, and that's it.
Well, and going back to a time when it was all good, the 50 Cent Tycoon Party.
I wasn't here, man, but I heard that was incredible.
How you not here in the biggest party that Barcode ever been?
In your club.
In your club.
Well, listen, the problem was it was not a problem. It was my good friend's wedding. I was the best man. You know,
who got married?
Terry.
Oh, Terry from the lobby?
Yeah. So, Terry and I have been friends for many years. He's been my employee. He was my employee for many years. Then he became my partner when the opportunity was given. And, and we have built a great relationship. Like, I've always been there for him. He's always been there for me. So he asked me to be his best man. I was very honored.
And it just happened to fall on the weekend of Tycoon.
What happened, Tycoon was not supposed to happen at Barcode.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that. How did that come about?
Tycoon, they were going to try to do it. They went to multiple places. They were going to try to do it at the Hamptons. That didn't happen. They tried to rent out sneak-wise. They were trying to rent out the Sojo spot. I guess they got a wind of it, and they said, we're not going to allow this shit to happen here.
And you're referring to 50 Cent?
To 50 Cent.
I've seen a picture of 50 Cent at Barcode. How was that? Like, how did that happen?
Well,
what time was he there?
Well, the thing is that I'm good friends with Star. Star's been a good friend of Johnny, and
shout out to Star.
And then Star calls me up one day and says, "Hey, listen, I know you guys just opened up your pool, and 50's trying to do a pool party. So, will you consider doing that party?" And at the beginning, I was very hesitant to do it because it was very close up. We didn't have enough time to prepare, and then it landed on that party that I was not going to be around.
And be real, Eddie, you know how hip hop heads get down.
Well, the reality is that it's a wild party with a market that I have done for many years, and that's the reason why I was very hesitant because
and not for nothing,
it could get out of control.
Yeah, I was gonna say that very risky.
Well,
I'm not gonna lie, you took a big risk.
The following day, they had the event at Pier 115. And, I'm not going to talk negative about the event, but...
It was a shootout. I heard about that.
So...
No names.
At the end of the day, God forbid, that was to happen at Barcode. All this work and all these years of putting this thing together, it could have been all washed down the toilet in one day.
Over one party.
One party. That's all it would have taken.
And when 50 showed up, what did he say when he first walked into Barcode?
No, he took Star's word for it. Star and 50 are very good friends, and when he went into the patio, he was like, "Oh shit, this party's gonna be lit." And then I had all my managers plus 50 there and Star. We went over all the details. So I didn't want nothing to be missed. Obviously, I had a lot of questions. I've been doing this for a long time, so there's nothing gonna come and tell me that I haven't heard before. That's
another convo I wish I would have heard. Convo between you and 50 Cent.
It was cool. It was. Yeah. We were there. We hanged out. He ate wings. And
why you ain't call me? I would have showed up.
Listen. I have a lot of friendship with a lot of celebrities, and the reason why I have a lot of good friendship with them is because it's very private. Like when I sit down with certain celebrities, I don't even refer to them to their fucking artist name. Like I'll call you what you are, and if I don't like it, I'll tell you fuck you in your face. Like and they love that because like I'm being true. Sometimes you sit down with celebrities like this, like oh my god,
yeah,
fuck you, nigga.
Hey, yo, 50,
still a regular
you.
person.
Fuck you. You want wings, my nigga?
I don't have that friendship with him like that.
Oh nah, it was your mutual respect.
But it was mutual respect, and he came down. He came down as a gentleman, very respectful. We had a long conversation about everything that had to do with the event, and then that's it. And then we that night he left. I left everything ready, and then I was on the phone every fucking minute of that party.
I remember you FaceTime me at the end like, okay, mijo, you want to lie to me? How was it? I'm not gonna lie, Eddie. That balcony was lit. I didn't see so many celebrities in my life in one place. People on the flyer, people off the flyer, people that wasn't invited, just showing up. I turned to the left, oh, hey, Boogie. Turn over here, Casanova. Over here, Pop Smoke, rest in peace. I seen everybody there, like Snoop Dogg right there, smoking when he wasn't supposed to, but it's Snoop, so... I remember one of the bartenders came up to me like, ¿Es puede fumar? I'm like, you know who that is? Like, yeah. I don't care, I'm just asking.
His whole life is around smoke.
Yeah, like, everybody was there.
It was great, man. It was
lit.
Great event. It put Barcode more on the map.
Definitely. I don't know if you, it was the marching band out. Yeah. Playing his every hit that he had.
Oh, no. I got all the info from that night. I got mad footage from that night.
50 lent Snoop his car. They all pulled up in Lambos, Ferraris, Bentleys. It was lit, bro. I don't think anybody will be able to top that party in Jersey.
Well, you gotta understand too that right now you only have a few places in Jersey that have pools. There's actually 4.
Like Harrah's.
You got Harrah's.
I
don't consider Harrah's. I don't consider it because Harrah's don't do pool parties. There are a club at a pool.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Yeah.
Like pool parties, I could say is like Avenue, where you could party while you're in the water.
Yeah. Most of the time when my boys go to Harrah's, they never ever dress for the pool.
Well, that's the thing. It's like you're partying by the pool. You're not partying at the pool. Then you also have what is it? HQ.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I heard about that.
That's a pool party. You know, like they only open up to 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's all around the pool.
And again, going back to what I was telling you in the beginning, Elizabeth motherfuckers are ungrateful. You open up the pool, everybody from New York, from outside of Jersey, wow, that's crazy. Eddy G's doing it, Barcode's lit. Elizabeth people, oh, the pool's dirty, the this and that. Raw wave pool's probably cleaner. I want to be caught dead in that pool. Like, bro, ban! You gotta start banning these motherfuckers.
I look at it like this, man. You know how I look at it? I look at it as, if you think Barcode's pool is dirty, that means your ass is dirty. Realistically. You know, because how can, for you to sit down and think about, first of all, we go up to the highest level of chlorine.
Fact.
And we have a lifeguard on duty, and every 30 minutes we have to have the water tested because, you know, of the pH levels and all that shit. And if the water's unbalanced, we clear everybody out.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that, you know, obviously when you play hip hop or when you have a big crowd and all that stuff, you know, young people don't give a shit. You know, there's showers there that you could take a shower before you get in the water. And, you know, we try to implement, and the moment we see that the water's getting a little bit cloudy that you can't see, boom.
Hold on, there's showers at Barcode?
Yeah, there's showers.
Where? I didn't see it.
Yeah, on one of the sides of the bars. On the outside.
Shit, I didn't see it. And but Tycoon, I feel like Tycoon was one for the Bucks. 50 then had a promo run. He mentioned it on the Breakfast Club.
Everywhere.
I saw with my own eyes inside of Barcode when Wendy Williams tried to come.
Well, you have to understand that what we did at Barcode, I don't even think you could have pulled it off, not even Atlantic City.
I heard this year he's trying to do it in Atlanta. And I remember like, I don't think it's going to be the same as Barcode.
Yeah, before this whole thing started happening, I saw he was starting to go around like, oh, where do you guys think I should throw the next Tycoon? And that's where he's getting ready to do another one.
Yeah, and it was fights.
He was getting ready.
You got to understand that the way we set up Barcode pool is probably the best layout from all the pools that exist. Because when you go to HQ, you got, and don't get me wrong, I love HQ. I think for the house music market, it's very well set up. But it's massive. Like, you need to have 5,000 people, 4,000 people to actually have a great fucking vibe. And the whole layout. Now, what doesn't help HQ is their pricing. You know, your average drink is probably $18, $20. When at Barcode is still $10, $11. You know? At HQ, you're gonna buy a bottle you're not getting it for less than $700, $800. That the same bottle at Barcode, I sell it for $200 and change. You know, tops maybe $300. So on the price point, we beat them by a lot. Mm-hmm. Now, no pool has the DJ right on the pool. Every pool has the DJ like on the side.
You're right.
Or in another elevated area.
You're right.
We're the only ones that kind of built this whole with balcony overlooking the pool, and like everything is condensed into that one area. So when you're talking about throwing a party with an ambience, you're gonna get it at Barcode. You're not probably gonna get that in other places. The other place that kind of gives you that vibe, but it's a very small pool, it's the one that's down the shore. I don't know the name of that club.
Avenue?
No.
Headliners?
Is it Headliners? Yeah, they have a pool, right? I haven't been there in years.
Well, their pool is about the size of maybe this little office here.
Okay.
But listen, it gives them the marketing to say we have a pool. Mm-hmm. So, you know, you can't knock it down either. Like, they have a pool. But
and going back to the prices, what would you say to those people from Elizabeth that complain about, the interest is too high, or they complain about the hookah not pulling? Like, I heard a lot of people talk shit about the hookah at Barcode. What would you say to those people?
Make it yourself.
Go back there.
Nah, listen. You gotta understand that Barcode is a monster. Like, Barcode is not a place that you with one hookah guy you could run the place. You know, on a given night we have 20 hookah guys, and everybody's trying, you know, to set these things up. And obviously, you know, you're always gonna have mistakes. You know, you're never gonna get that to perfection. We try to get it as close as possible, but you know, it's not easy. But people that are gonna hate, they're gonna hate whether you're doing something right, they're gonna find something negative in it. Like for example, I posted the other day a comment about, me when I had the virus, right? And giving people advice about their symptoms that they're not taking serious, or then most likely they don't even know about it. I didn't know about it.
Wait, so you posted a post that you was positive for the coronavirus?
Yeah, but it was more like an educational post.
You were positive?
Yeah, I was positive.
What symptoms did you have?
Lost a sense of smell. That's it.
That's it?
That's it.
Wow.
That's all it was. I lost my sense of smell, and one day I'm like, wait a minute, what the fuck? And I told Hillary, I went to visit the baby.
Who's Hillary?
My son's mom,
okay.
Gabriel's mom. And she's like, all right, well, just, you probably stuffy or whatever. And then the next day she sent me an article. She's like, take a look at this. And it came out that in China and in Italy, a lot of people that came back positive that tested because of people in the family, that the only reason why they found out that they had something was because they lost a sense of smell or taste or both. So I went and got my test done the next day, and I came back positive. I stayed home for 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't go out and talk to nobody and leave the house. So afterwards, I posted, hey, this is kind of something you gotta take serious. I was positive. And then you always have the one or two haters like, oh, you were at Crust Pizza, giving your staff food. First of all, it made it sound like I was intentionally getting my staff sick.
The haters, man, the haters.
And the only reason why I posted that, I didn't have to tell nobody I was positive.
But you wanted to
I wanted to tell people.
Put awareness.
Let people know that this is not a joke. Because listen, I had no symptoms, and I could have been around spreading it to people, not knowing shit. And God forbid other people would have gotten sick, or an elder person would have lost their lives because, I didn't know about it. It was not me being negligent. I didn't know anything about it.
You're clear right now?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
So the moment I was...
You kind of scared me. I ain't gonna lie. I'm like, oh, fuck. I've been in this room with this nigga for like 2 hours.
Listen, Mike, if you haven't gotten the virus by now, my brother, you probably been had it already. I know. That's the crazy part, that most people probably had it.
And don't even know it.
And don't even know about it.
Yep, because what is that called? Asymptomatic.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And that's crazy. I remember calling you saying, big bro, why would you post that if you know they're going to try to come at you any way possible? Because I know there's people that's following you that low-key hate you.
Oh,
people follow me that low-key hate me all the time. And I tell them, why you following me? That's my main question to them. Unfollow me, my boy. And I always told you, I'm like, I wouldn't have I'll delete it because they're going to try to, this is their chance. Wow, you had the coronavirus and you was around this person. I would have just...
But I also made it, like, I did it more to bring awareness to people. Like, this could happen to anyone. And it could happen to... and it's not like I'm out there saying, oh shit, I got it. Hey, I'm not doing that,
Hey, do it that way when you do it. Even if you're playing around. do it towards Mario. No, but I'm happy that you recovered. A lot of people don't recover. And people are dropping out here. Bodies are dropping.
Well, listen, you open up your feet, all you see is rest in peace, rest in peace, rest in peace.
All day.
So this is serious. But coming down to people hating and all that, listen, that's just always going to happen. Mm-hmm. The day people don't hate on you, that means you ain't doing nothing.
Facts.
And you ain't shit.
Like they say in that movie, The Interview, they hate us because they ain't us.
Yeah, it's true.
They hate us because they ain't us.
But listen.
Say it one more time with me, Eddie. They hate us because they ain't us.
Nah, listen.
Say it just once.
Mike, that's not how I am. But the reality is that people always gonna hate. You gotta take it as a compliment, and as they're hating, you just gotta sit back and smile and say, yeah,
And that's my next question. That's my next question. Knowing that you got so many haters, and the money that you have now, being blessed with all the money, why would you want to live in Elizabeth? I understand that your business is here, but why would you want to build your mansion in Elizabeth, in the hood, when you could be in Scotch Plains with the white folks?
I'm going to tell you why. Because white folks don't like beans.
Is that a metaphor?
They don't understand our culture. You can't do a barbecue Like you seen the pool parties I do in my house. You think I could pull that shit off in a town like Scotch Plains?
They call the cops here too. The cops showed up too.
Yeah, but you know what the difference is?
What?
That as one person is hating, you got 20, 30 not giving a shit.
No word.
You know, and the reality is that look, okay, let's forget about the parties. Let's talk about we're hungry. You could fucking have all your Spanish restaurants within a phone call. You could have food delivered to you. You could go to your neighborhood barbershop. Because what's the point? Yeah, I'm gonna go sleep in Scotch Plains, but I'm never gonna stop being Eddie. I'm never gonna stop wanting to eat my Spanish Colombian food, my Dominican food. I'm never gonna want to not go to the barbershop and hear my boys talking shit. That's part of our culture. The moment we leave that, we're trying to be somebody that we're not, and I'm not gonna be that person. I love my culture. I love my people. I love hanging out with my boy Mike. And I love talking to my boy that's a fucking financially wealthy person, and we could all talk the same language. Facts. I don't have to impress that motherfucker.
Oh, I like hanging out with you too, Eddie.
So, you know, that's the reality, man. Like, you know, people think that making it is leaving. Nah, to me, if I could stay here and I could teach young people that they themselves could make it, and I could they could go ahead and take their money. Mm-hmm. If they did, let's say tomorrow you made it, you kill it.
I'm out.
Why are you gonna be out?
Because what 50 said, and it's true. No matter, you got love in the streets. Yeah, niggas fuck with me, but there's always a hater. 50 said in an interview with Oprah, I'm from Jamaica, Queens, New York. As much as I'm respected out there, I can't go back there. There's haters that waiting to gun me down because I have what they don't have, which is why he moved to Connecticut.
Yeah, but you know,
you're not worried about somebody. Yeah, people respect you out here, but you're not worried somebody may, be like envy when they see you driving past them in a Lamborghini.
You know what, Mike? Let me tell you something. I'm a big believer that if you gotta remember one thing too. Like my money was made with my hard work. Mm-hmm. Like I don't owe nobody anything in the street. Like nobody can out and say, oh, Eddie owes me money from a key or something, or he ratted out on my friend. Because you know what, that's not the lifestyle that I have. My lifestyle was I'm a DJ. I'm following my dream. Now, if you grow up and you're in the corner and you're hustling, and that's your surroundings, then you might have something bite you in the ass from the past.
But you don't gotta be from the streets to get caught in a hater. Haters are everywhere. Look at the Beatles. One of them died from a fan shooting them. So and they're not. There wasn't street niggas.
Let me ask you a question. You think when 50 goes out to a club and he does his champagne or all that shit,
he be with 30 niggas?
And what do you think? How many presidents haven't been around army of people and they get killed?
Yeah,
my brother. When it's your day, it's your day. Mm-hmm. You can't change that.
So living in Elizabeth, right, in a big mansion. You never get paranoid that somebody could come and try to rob you or try to do something to you?
Well, first of all, I'm not stupid enough to keep my shit around where I live. That's just common sense. You're not gonna fucking have a safe with fucking $500,000 and say, "Hey, come and get it." That's just being ignorant. I just love to know that I got my family in my neighborhood. I want to know that I could call my friend and I could leave Barcode at 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, and be home in a minute, 2 minutes later.
Facts. You will get pulled over driving to Clark or Scotch Plains, New Jersey.
Nah, and I'm not doing that.
Westfield Ave is a bitch. You feel me?
I know people that live part of their life in their vehicles just trying to get home. Facts. And then they get home so tired that all they do is go to sleep. Well, for that, listen, I got an apartment in Fort Lee. Dope as hell. I've been in that fucking apartment maybe 10 times since the moment I got it. Now that's nothing. We're talking about I got it in February. We're now in mid-April, or I don't know what date it is anymore. And I've only been there 10, 12 times.
I don't know. I always grew up listening to these rappers saying the whole objective is to leave the hood. Mm-mm. To leave the whole thing is to get out.
No, let me tell you something. Look at it. Look, I'm gonna give you another angle. The hood. They fight for corners. They kill each other over corners, and half of them are dead, and the other half are in jail. And you know what happens? Comes a guy with a black fucking jacket, with the little fucking things on the side.
And they buy up the block.
Buys those fucking properties for pennies on the dollar. So you know what the hood really did? They forfeit something that's never gonna be theirs. They drive the property value down because now these properties are boarded up and burned and all this shit.
Yep.
And these guys buy a fucking $500,000 property for $10,000, $15,000. Then they go and they buy enough property all together as a family, and that's how Hoboken was born. That's how Jersey City is born. That's how all these fucking meatpacking districts.
You gotta love Jewish people, don't you? They just out here. They did it real game. I seen them walking, rolling deep on the Mora.
But you know what? Look at it like this. Instead of hating them, why not learn from them and do the same thing but with your community? What if I could take all these hood motherfuckers that are running the streets, running the corners, and running that shit, and teach them that there's another way to make money, more than the money that they're making, and now they get to actually enjoy it.
And invest
making money
and invest back in their own community and start buying back their own blocks, and now they own property.
That's why I donated the recording studio to the school is because I want to give back. I want to give people the tools that I never had. Like I would have loved to learn how to record music, but I didn't have the money to buy my equipment back then. Imagine back then there was no such thing as a computer with a laptop and you buy plugins. Back then, recording studios were recording studios. It was a fucking massive room with a shitload of filters and compressors and all this stuff. A regular studio, you were not gonna pull it off for less than $500,000.
That's facts. So let's get back to the
now you could do it for like about $300 in a room.
Let's get back to the hate situation, right? I respect that. You know, you did open my eyes with that. Personally, I still feel like I will move. You know, because with success comes envy. So I feel like, you know, yeah, I'll still come back to the hood, but I'll take my niggas with me. But like you said, your business is here, so I will understand why you want to be here, and I respect that, you know. And
I just look at it like this: if I could teach you how to make money, and you could make the money you never thought you were gonna make, why take it to another town when you could live much better here with the comforts of what you love, which is, you know, your foods and all that stuff, and you could teach other people that you don't have to hate on me. I could just teach you how to make your own shit.
Facts.
You know what? It's all about changing the mentality of the people that surround you. A lot of the reason why most people in our surroundings are violent is because that's all they know. That's all they've been exposed to. So they know that you talk shit about me, I'm gonna shoot you. They don't teach you you're gonna talk shit about me, it's a compliment. You look out the other way. You know, say fuck you, you say thank you. Because you know what? You're not, if you keep feeding to everybody's poor mindsets, then you're just another person that's part of the problem. You know, that's I just look at it, it's just not worth it.
Yeah. I respect that and everything you just say, but I'm still leaving. I'm leaving. I'm out. Scotch Plains, here I come. But I still come back to Eastwick. You know, Eastwick. I mean, I actually want to move to LA.
What you're gonna do is go sleep. Because the truth is that this is home.
Nah, you're right. It will always be home, but I don't want to have a business here. I'm trying to travel the world using my talents. You know, but I understand your vision.
Look, for example, your boy, the one that did Fast and the Furious, right?
Louis Tricks.
Yeah. Where does he live at?
Lives out here, but he still has to go to LA, you know, for a few months.
Yeah.
And
but his home is here.
That's true. That's true.
You know,
but what about the people who, you know, like 50 or like the Breakfast Club people? They all do their job in New York, but they all live in Jersey, in the nice areas.
Yeah, but you also have to remember is that you gotta remember one thing too. Living in somebody else's life, which is the Scotch Plains, the Warrens, and all those places, you're paying prime. But one thing that's realistic, like for example, I have that dope apartment in Fort Lee,
which I haven't been to, by the way.
Great, but I'll give you an example. You open up your phone, Uber Eats. There's no fucking Spanish restaurants.
There isn't?
Nah.
In Fort Lee, really?
Not on Uber Eats.
Oh shit.
You gotta go to Grubhub.
Maybe because of the shit that's going on right now. But I love my fucking empanadas. I love my fucking pan de horno.
Bandeja paisa.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, bandeja paisa.
Damn, you're making me hungry.
That's one of my favorites, man.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't get that. You know, I want to play music in my apartment. I can't. I got all these neighbors around me. So you're paying prime to be pretty much in somebody else's jail. Nah, I want to get right now and play fucking loud music in my house. There ain't nobody saying shit to me. I could throw a party right now in my house. Obviously, I wouldn't do it because of the shit that's going on. But you know, how many times did I do the Christmas parties at my house?
A lot. Those were lit. Shout out to Tiffany. Those were lit. But and it's funny too. I was gonna say that the cops do come, but you know I'm not gonna say no names even though I should, cause I don't really fuck with the police. But
cops here are dope, man.
Yeah, of course for you. But you know,
but Mike, if remember one thing too, it's all the way how you go about things. If you're gonna be that guy, yo, fuck the police. You think they're gonna come to you with a nice, yo, what's up, my brother?
No, I do fuck. I do fuck with some cops. Nah.
You gotta respect. You gotta remember one thing, bro.
Now, certain people I grew up with became cops, so I do fuck with them. You know, but them older ones, them racist ones, I don't fuck with.
Yeah, but again, they're not being racist. They just don't understand your shit.
Word.
You gotta understand, like, how many times have I told you, yo, Mike? I think you went a little bit too overboard with this.
With the skit.
You know, with the skit. It's because I feel that there's certain things being funny, and there's certain things that are not funny. And those things that are not funny, that you think is funny, is because you're targeting a certain small group of people that are just ignorant. Mm-hmm. So you're impressing a small group of people when you have the talent to create skits that will be loved by many. So I've always told you, create things that are going to be accepted by the massive and not by the small groups. And those are the reasons why you might not have too many cops that are your friends, because, you know, when you go into a store and I'm having dinner with my mom, and you have this kid walking in, and then you go and scream in that restaurant and say, "Are you lit, or what the fuck is it?
Are you washed or lit?
Are you washed or lit?" And then you're screaming. You know what?
Those were my classic ones. I ain't gonna lie, those were my classic ones.
Yeah, but you know what? They're classic. But if I'm a cop, I'll look at you like you're a scumbag. Yeah. Because maybe that cop's mom could have been eating there. You understand? So you have to understand that your humor might be funny to you, but might not be funny to the masses. But meanwhile, if you look at all these big artists and all these comedians that made it big, are the ones that took a break and said, you know what? Hold off a minute. What is it that I should really be focusing on? What kind of comedy should I be focusing on? Mm-hmm. And they did. They did the Twitches, and they changed certain things, and now they're accepted by the world. Like, you know, the Kevin Hart. Today is not the Kevin Hart that started 20 years ago or 10 years ago.
You're right.
You know, they adapted to the times. They got older. When they go on an interview, they don't go on an interview dissing people and their surroundings or making people uncomfortable.
Well, I do have an important question though. Eddie, are you washed? Oh,
I'm definitely a washed reporter.
It was a joke. Don't shut me down. I don't want to get shut down, so I'm going to agree with you. I don't want my podcast to get shut down. Say no, but I do understand you, big bro, and it's facts. You're right. And there's times where I have, you know, I think Eddy G's the only one that can make me delete a video, cause his opinion, you know, I respect it a lot, you know, and that's the thing people don't understand. Like, my loyalty to Eddy is goes beyond. Like, people confuse loyalty with dick riding. You know, I hear a lot of times people saying, stop dick riding Eddy G. That's just loyalty. I bet you the same people who say stop dick riding Eddy G can't find a loyal person in their phone book. Because they're not, people from Elizabeth are not used to loyal people.
You know what it is, Mike?
It's grimy out here.
Mike, I'm
and how many times have I called you personally, yo, Eddie, this person wants to pay me for a promo. Do you fuck with this business? And you told me no. I said, okay. I said, fine. And I gave the money back. You know, even though I could use that money. But I gave the money back because that's loyal. That's loyalty.
You know what it is, Mike? You got to understand that there's a lot of people that have no principle.
Exactly.
You know, and people that have no principle, you cannot expect them to be that understand what loyalty is. Mm-hmm. You know, but you also got to remember that their surroundings maybe turn them into that, being that kind of a way. You know, we don't know what people have been through, what their lives have been like, for them to be that much of assholes. You understand?
Yeah.
So, you know, when a person like me comes, like for example, when I have given you my opinions and things, I don't look at it as what's beneficial for me. I look at it what's beneficial for my boy, and why certain things are gonna, like for example, you know, you have a good relationship with Shaq. Shaq has given you pointers of things to stay away from.
He has.
And I think you have been accepted by more people lately than your beginnings, because now your audience is a lot wider. Your audience before was just Elizabeth. But if you keep marketing yourself to Elizabeth, then you're never gonna get out of the hood. At least your message is not gonna get out of the hood. Because the average person, I don't want to see you walking into a restaurant and saying that you're watching lit while you have a mom and a dad having dinner. Because I'm a 42-year-old. Now the skit you made about, you know, when, you know, Barcode being open while the snowstorm, that shit was funny. And you saw how that was accepted by millions.
The reporting live from Elizabeth.
You understand? Those, you see, there's a difference between what that gave you as a response versus what something else gave you as a response. So I always try to give you the best advice possible as a 42-year-old person that is interacting on a daily basis with all the new 21s, because that's the business that I have. Mm-hmm. My market is 21 to 40. So I can't be a 42-year-old business person. I have to think like a 21.
No, you're right. And
but using my knowledge at 42 to not make mistakes that a 21 would make and be like, fuck, man, I fucked up.
Which is why I respect that.
Nah, I don't use that my bad shit.
Which is why I respect every word you tell me. Like, people don't understand you sponsoring me. If you haven't known yet, Eddy G is the reason why I have this podcast, why I've gotten to close to 300,000 followers on Instagram, which leads me to get booked in Texas, get booked in LA, get booked in Ohio, get booked in Arizona, Rhode Island. I wouldn't have been able to get booked in all these places if it wasn't for this man right here. And I feel like the same way you sponsor me, Drake did it with Eminem with free studio time. I'm sure he let Eminem sleep in his mansion while he recorded. Same thing with Lil Wayne did for Drake. You know, it's the same thing you're doing for me, and I appreciate that, you know, from the bottom of my heart. Like, I fuck with you.
My biggest thing would be one day seeing, you know, a Mike Ruga on the big screen, you know, because he made it, you know, he was given an opportunity.
And you will. Trust me, you definitely will.
And that's my thing. I see that. I can see a person like you getting there.
And I feel like if I don't get there, I don't want to say there's pressure on me, but I feel like everything you've done for me went down the drain. Or it was in vain. And I don't want that one day to be like, my bad, Eddie. You know, as I'm working a 9 to 5, and I don't want that. So I feel like it's like there's no other option. I gotta make it.
You gotta make it, and
you will see me in the big screen. I believe a lot into speaking into existence. And I have, you know, when I dropped my city as a rapper, you know, I remember when you released that
8
years ago.
You reached out to me.
You didn't even know me.
No, I didn't know you, and you're like, yo, do you mind, you know, putting this on your social media and helping me out? I'm like, yeah, of course, man. I look at it like this.
And you did.
It's somebody from my neighborhood trying to make something of himself. He could be in the corner right now doing something stupid, or he's trying to make something out of himself by expressing his music. It doesn't always have to be the right message. You know, sometimes a lot of these artists, they make it by talking the stupidest shit. But you know what? If that gets them out of the hood, and that gives them a platform to change their life from being this person to becoming that. Listen, I support that 100%.
And I really appreciate that, bro. Like, I low-key owe you my life, because I wouldn't have been able to make a living off Instagram, because you could really make a living off it if you play your cards right, if you're smart with it. And I would have never gotten so close to 300,000. And I know I'm going to pass that, you know, if it wasn't for you. And I really do appreciate you a lot, bro.
Anytime, my brother.
I wasn't even supposed to, you know, talk like this to you. This is off script, but, like, you're my man. Without getting too emotional, like, I fucked with you, bro.
And I want to see you one day doing the big things, bro.
Nah, I appreciate that, bro. It's all love. But moving on, man. Without you might make me cry, man. Moving on before I shed a real nigga tear. We do got to talk about a certain situation. You know, a lot of people beef and have fallouts. I want to know because I don't think I even know. I don't think me and you ever had this convo before. So I want to know exclusively what was the situation that you had with DJ Alex Sensation? Like, what was the? You smirking already? Look, you smirking. What happened? What was the fallout about? Like, what happened that made y'all be like, hasta aquí, yeah, that's it. Fuck you, my nigga.
All right, so, well, Alex and I have a lot of history. We're talking about from the Coco Bongo days.
Before the forehead surgery. before back in the day. We all know it. We all see it. There's Google images. We could go back and, before the forehead surgery.
You just do your own homework, man. That's all we gotta do. Well, let's go back to the beginnings of our business deals. When I decided to take a chance with radio, with Mega Thursdays, I bought this live broadcast. I was spending about $7,000 a week on advertising. So that I became a pretty big client for Mega, and back then there was not really that many broadcasts. So I brought Alex in, and I told him, listen, I wanna fuck with you on Thursday nights. I wanna lock you down for every Thursday. Back then Alex was charging like around $700-800.
Sheesh.
So I told Alex, you know what?
And wait, hold on. How much is Alex worth now?
Well, I don't know what he's charging now.
I heard it's like 4,000.
Well, that's what I was paying him at the end. I think he's trying to charge more now, but I don't know.
Oh, that's what Barcode was paying him, 4,000.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
So
I gotta be a DJ.
no, but let me give you the story so you can understand how the shit even got to the 4,000. All right. So when we started on the Mega Thursdays, we were killing it, and so he was charging about $700-800 at the time, and I told him, listen, I'm gonna lock you in, but I'm gonna pay you $1,500. I offered him more money than what he was charging. So we do this Thursday night shit. The shit is packed. And about a year and a half later, I said, you know what? My Saturdays are good, but I want to shut my doors down on a Saturday. So I said, you know what? Are you down to do Saturday nights? He says, yeah, I'm down to do Saturdays. But at that point, because I was already paying him $1,500, he used my number to go to the other clubs and say, listen, I'll come to you, but I'm getting paid this at Coco Bongo, so you guys gotta, meet me there. So at that time he was charging $2,000. So he immediately went from doing $700-800 to $2,000, but he was charging me $15 because that's what I was paying him on a Thursday night. So for Saturdays, I'm like, you know what, bro? I'm gonna lock you in for Saturdays too. I'm gonna give you $3,000 on a Saturday night.
And this was Coco Bongo days.
Coco Bongo days. Now, it didn't bother me because I was making great on Fridays and I was doing great on Thursdays and I was killing it on Saturdays.
So he was like your main event DJ.
Yeah, so he was my main event DJ. So he was coming religiously, and then I offered him other deals too. I told him, listen, whenever there's artists, bring them, and we go half and half. We pay the artist. He obviously had the connections. A lot of artists will give him, the deal to perform. A lot less than what they would normally charge because that's how they feel like, oh, I'll take care of Alex. Alex is gonna play my music on the radio. But Alex needed a place to cash out at. So that's when Coco Bongo came around. Oh, you're an artist? Cool. No problem. I know you're charging 20, but I need you to do me a favor for 10. So of course we would get him for 10. We pay the artist, and then whatever money we made, we go half and half. But he had no responsibilities. Now the problem was when the nights that we lost money. When we lost money, he didn't want to take the loss. I would be the only one taking the loss. So I was okay with it because I'm like, for every 5 events we lose on 1, I'm still making great on 4.
Okay.
So I wasn't really worried about that. The problem was when year 15 of Coco Bongo came around. Coco Bongo started going on a decline. Now, why? Because it was good. It was dope when Alex was there Friday and Thursdays and Saturdays, but it got old. So Alex at the end started saying, okay, yeah, I'll be there, and then he wouldn't show up.
So that was like strike one.
So then customers stopped coming to Coco Bongo because like, yo, we want to go see Alex, and then Alex would never show up.
And not for nothing, now that I'm going to Barcode, he be pulling that bullshit at Barcode a few times. He pulled it.
So let me finish. Hold on. It's a long story. So Alex pretty much started screwing me over on not coming to Coco Bongo. Obviously, Coco Bongo dies. Me and him didn't have such a great relationship at the time. But he, at that time, he went and started doing parties at Olay. Olay used to hold more people than Coco Bongo. So then those parties went down the drain because him and Gio had a fallout. So now Coco Bongo opens up. I mean, Barcode opens up, and then I'm looking at it as a business move. So I bring Alex in, and you know we start, and all of a sudden the party's doing great. All of a sudden, he's giving me dates that he's canceling last minute. Now I'm like, yo, this motherfucker, you know, here we are with a good relationship with him, and now he's starting to screw this shit over. One day he tells my office, his manager tells my office, oh, you know, we're not gonna do Jersey clubs for a while. We're gonna stay away from Jersey because you know Alex wants to focus on his music and he wants to do the shit. Now let's go back to his music. That song La Mala y La Buena, I gave it to him.
What, with Ozuna?
No, the what he did with that fucking group, the Cuban group.
Cuban Link?
No, un grupo cubano.
Oh, okay.
Well, La Mala y La Buena, I gave him that song. That was from my artist.
And this is already the Barcode days.
Yeah, the Barcode days. I gave him that song, and the first song that he recorded, which it was Noche de Placer, I made that song for him in my studio. So.
Oh, hold on. He recorded that here?
Yeah.
Oh.
Noche de Placer. I recorded that for him. So. I always went out of my way to help him out, elevate his career. But the problem with Alex has no loyalty to nobody besides himself. So I look at it like, wait a minute. When you had a hard time, we always were there helping you out. I remember one day they tried to suspend him from the radio. I had to call the radio and tell the radio, listen, you don't get Alex back on. Remember, now I had a live broadcast on Thursdays and Saturday. We were spending $15,000 a week. So I tell him, you don't bring Alex back, I'm going to cancel my broadcast. Because, of course, now that would give him the upper hand. Now the radio looks at it like, okay, we're going to reprimand Alex, but if we do that, we're going to lose, you know, Coco Bongo as a customer. So they didn't fuck with him. They left him alone. And he was out of the radio for a few days, but then when we started putting pressure on the station, they brought him back. Because obviously Alex playing the diva card. So I remember one day we call the station and say, hey, we need Alex to record this commercial. Alex used to record all the commercials for us. And then they have the nerve to call me back and say, oh, Alex said that if you want him to record the commercial, that he's going to charge an extra $500 for that.
To you?
Yeah. Now this is after me having this relationship with him. So Alex always pulled off those fucking. Oh, then he wouldn't come to the club, but he would send Danny to try to collect his pay.
To Barcode.
Yeah.
So he wouldn't show up to Barcode. And
he wouldn't show up to Barcode, but he still would want to come and collect his money. Like, yo, and then Danny would give me the, oh, bro, that's just him. I don't know, bro. I don't know. You gotta
who's Danny?
His manager, supposedly.
Okay.
So, moving forward to the problem that me and him had lately, he doesn't even bother telling me, yo, I was given an opportunity to open up a club of my own. Nah, this motherfucker just stops coming to the club or to lobby, and all of a sudden I see grand opening with Alice Sensation, and I don't know what fucking artist that he was bringing to Club Excel.
But hold up, I heard you banned him though.
No, I didn't ban him. I just stopped fucking with him. Oh,
it wasn't a situation where you banned him, he got mad, and that's when he started doing the grand opening out here?
No, Alex and I had a good relationship. Obviously, the problem with Alex, Alex always cares about making more money for himself. And there's nothing wrong with that. You're an artist, you want to make more money for yourself.
But you still got to be loyal to the niggas that helped you out.
You know, the problem is that Alex gets to the club. He plays first of all, the first thing he does, he sends somebody over to tell the other DJs not to play the hits. That's corny as shit. To me, if you're a fucking DJ, you should be able to grab the room as it is and fucking rock out. No, he goes in. I remember because I was DJing one time and Danny's like, yo, Alex just texted me, bro, don't play. I'm like, yo, tell that motherfucker to come tell me in my face not to play those songs. And then obviously Alex got there. Danny told him, yo, Eddie already played this song. He still played them anyway. But that's what he does. He goes and tells the other DJs not to play the music that is hot in the clubs at that time because he wants to DJ it.
And I heard as a DJ, I'm not a DJ, but I heard as a DJ, that's like a slap to your face, saying, "Let me show me your playlist." Well,
listen, as if you're a dope DJ, if you're an opening DJ and you're dope, you shouldn't be playing the hits early anyway.
Facts.
But if it's 12:30 at night and you got a packed club, and this motherfucker hasn't showed up yet, you're not gonna leave people hanging on prime time because this motherfucker that's supposed to be there is not there.
Yeah, I remember this time I'd be at Barcode, I'd be lit, I'm looking at the time, I'm like, yo, isn't Alex supposed to be on? And I remember you just giving me that look like, and I'm like...
That's the biggest problem that he has.
And it's been a few times.
Alex has no loyalty to nobody, not even to his career. And he wants to go to places, fuck owners over, and he expects everybody just to say, okay, we'll deal with it, we'll let it slide. That's the problem. Like, you get to a point in your life when you're not gonna let nothing more slide. The problem is that Alex comes to your club, his fucking playlist is always the same shit, and he wants to charge you $4,000 or $5,000 for the same shit that he does the weekend before. And it's not like when he comes around, yeah, he might bring an extra 200-300 people, but when you do the math on 200 people, it's exactly what he's charging you. So you're not really making more money. You're just pretty much breaking even if he would have not showed up. Because let's say I do 1,000 people, and when he comes around, I go up to 1,200. If 200 people costs me what it costs me for him, I should have just only been doing 1,000 people.
Facts.
That's what it really comes down to, and that's the problem with Alex. But Alex, then going back to the story, all of a sudden this motherfucker starts promoting Club XL.
And do you feel like he did Club XL to get back at you? Like building XL in your own city? Like, I'm going to start doing business in his own city. No,
the thing is that Alex really believes that he's the reason why clubs are packed. And in a good amount of time, Alex had a very big following. The problem is Alex is too much into himself right now. He keeps putting all this money behind music. That's another thing too. He spends all his money making all these songs with all these artists that all these artists are really doing is just using him. Because they say when he records with Osuna or Nicky Jam or any of these guys, he's the one paying for those music videos. These artists are not the one paying for it. They saying, yo, I'll make the song with you, but you gotta pay for all the production shit. Mm-hmm. So he's trying to make extra money for himself so he could keep that shit going. But when that money's not coming back in, that's why he's trying to make it up on the clubs. If he's trying to make it up on the clubs, then it's not gonna work out for him. Because you're the only one song that made any noise was Que Va.
Yeah.
And how much money did that song really make him? When he goes to a club, he doesn't do a performance. He's just a regular DJ, and then when he plays that one song, he just sings over the fucking song, and that's it. And that's the show. Is that what I'm paying for? You see, he needs to focus on what he's gonna be. He's gonna be an artist, or he's gonna be a DJ. And he hasn't focused on neither option.
That was a good point. Until right now, it's like you really broke it down for me. But there was a point where I didn't know what he was. I didn't know if he was an artist or a DJ. I'm dead ass. I really did not know what the fuck he did.
Or a radio host.
Yeah. So I honestly did not know.
That's the reason why Alex and I had the fallout. I couldn't believe that after all the shit that he did to me in all these years, he was gonna come back again and give me another slap in the face. Like, how are you gonna go? And after we have a good relationship as business, because me and him, I stopped being his boy a long time. Because after he played me out a few times, I'm like, you know what, fuck you. But I looked at it as a business point. All right, well, Alex still has a name. I'll book him. I don't have to love the guy, but I'll collect my money at the end of the night. But when the money's not there, then now you start asking yourself, do I really need to take this fucking shit? And then towards the end, he stops coming, and then he starts announcing a grand opening of another club
in your city,
in my right next door. So he really thought he was gonna come into Elizabeth. He was gonna fucking take Barcode out, not realizing that same weekend it was the grand opening of my pool. How the fuck do you compete with the pool? You can't compete with that with a banquet hall. I'm sorry, it's not gonna happen.
I remember in the contract it says he has to bring like two artists.
I don't know what deal he made with them over then. Obviously, that didn't last for a long time. I heard a lot of things that went on with that. He tried to pull off the same shit that he did with me. Not showing up? No, bringing in artists, losing money, but then the owner was the only one that was going to take the loss. Listen, if we do business and we do partners and we throw an event, if there's a loss, we lose equally. Mm-hmm. But when you win, we win equally. But when we lose, you're the one that takes the loss. Who does that? To me, a scumbag does that.
And do you feel like in the near future, you guys will ever be cool again? Where to the point where he'll be back at Barcode?
The problem, let me tell you the problem with Alex is. The problem is that Alex only cares about himself. He's a very fake person. Like I remember when J Balvin came around. The first time I brought J Balvin to the U.S., I met him through Alex. We went to Mama Juana's in Uptown. And we sat down. It was Alex, and myself. We were there. The whole four of us were talking. And as we're there talking, he starts telling J Balvin, I like your music. I think you're rocking. We're gonna bring you down. We're gonna bring you. I'm gonna get you 4 shows. And I'm hearing Alex talking. Mm-hmm. Now Alex and I were partners doing events at that time. So J Balvin, we leave the meeting, and J Balvin's father calls me about 2 weeks later, Alvaro, and then he starts talking to me. Oh, I'm gonna send you the 4 contracts for the 4 dates. I told Alvaro, let me tell you something. I'm gonna be straight up with you right now. I'm gonna give you 2 dates. I'm gonna give you the Coco Bongo date, and I'm gonna give you the Prudential Center date. But those are the 2 dates that Alex has been promised you. Well, he promised you. You gotta talk to him. Well, J Balvin was calling, Alvaro was calling Alex. Alex was not responding nobody's phone call. Then Alvaro calls me up like, Edwin, well, this is the problem. I cannot send J Balvin out there for only 2 dates because we're not gonna break even. I told him, listen, I'll do something better for you. I'm gonna give you the direct contact to the owner from La Boom. If he's willing to do the event, cool, we do the event. But don't depend on Alex. We got him the date. We did the concert. There's niggas out here in concerts talking about, oh, I brought J Balvin here for the first time. Motherfucker, you didn't do shit. I brought J Balvin for the first time. Now let's go to the Nicky Jam days. I remember when that Colombian reggaeton started kicking off, everybody was like, oh, that's not going to last. That's not going to last.
It's only for the Puerto Ricans.
That's only for the Puerto Ricans. So Nicky Jam, we had him at Club Show. And right before Club Show, Alex was like, yo, but that's not going to work, man. That nigga's already washed. That nigga's dead already. That's not going to work. I'm like, yo, he's killing it in Colombia. Yeah, but Colombia's not the world. I'm like, my brother, but it's going to get that big. Watch.
So Alex Sensation said that about Nicky Jam.
Yeah,
he's
talking all this shit. Talking all this shit about Nicky Jam. Then we do Nicky Jam. Ram pack. Well, guess who was there licking Nicky Jam's ass after that? Yo, mi compadre.
Word. And speaking about DJs, a lot of people are dying to work at Barcode. What would you say to those new DJs that come up to you and be like, yo, Eddie, I wanna DJ for Barcode. I wanna be a resident. What do you look for in a DJ for them to become a resident?
I'm gonna be straight up honest with you. Like, I look at DJs that brand themselves, and I look at DJs who spend the money to look. Come on, man, you're not buying records like back in the days. Before you had to be a DJ, you wanted to fucking do a $300 gig. You probably spent $200 in vinyl for that week. Nowadays, you call your boy and he'll give you a hard drive, with fucking 10 hours of music, and nowadays people don't want to invest into themselves. They want to go and think that because they have a mixer at home and they know how to blend music, that now they're a DJ. The reality is that one, you gotta brand yourself, but two, I look at people who are getting noticed. Like, for an example, I like DJs that stay real to their talent. Like, I play everything. Listen, I play everything. But the reality is, I hate playing everything. I like playing house and I like playing salsa. Like, I've seen every DJ do, right now, listen, look at this. Stupidly, but just to be realistic. Come on.
What?
Look at this right now.
Don't show me no dick pics.
One DJ, live.
Put it towards the mic so we can hear it.
Live.
Yeah, that's Jersey Club. Hold on.
Live. Everybody's doing the same shit right now. And you go watch, if you were actually to take down your time to listen to everybody's set, everybody's playing the same fucking shit. And you know what? Nobody's taking their art and becoming good at something. And so what happens is that when everybody plays hip hop, you're gonna play what's hot in hip hop. When everybody plays reggaeton, you're gonna play what's hot in reggaeton. Anybody could do that. But why isn't nobody, going back with an old school song on reggaeton, bringing people back to memory lane, and then bouncing you back to something that's hot now?
Facts.
Like,
if I was drunk and I heard El Teléfono, I would be lit. Or if I was drunk and heard Besos Mojado from.
So you see, to me, that's one of the big problems with DJs. A lot of DJs want to be hot, but they don't want to do their homework.
See, so you heard it here, baby. If you want to be a DJ at Barcode, Eddy G wants you to be original.
Yeah, be original. Listen, I've done 2 lives. One, I DJed for 12 hours and I did house.
Facts, you did. I fell asleep at 10, you was DJing on live. And I woke up at 7 a.m., you was still DJing.
And another thing is, I went and did a salsa one, and I did it from 11 o'clock to 5 in the morning. Now, why? Because I love salsa. I don't come here to see how many people are viewing me. I just come in, listen, everybody right now is locked up. Everybody has to find a way out. Music is my way out. But I love to DJ the music that I feel. I don't DJ because I want to impress this person or that person. Now, when I'm in the club, my audience, that's who I have to DJ to. And whenever I realize that, I'm not feeling the night, I don't even bother getting on, because I don't want to fuck up the party. So most DJs, what they need to do, they need to find their niche. They need to be good at it, and they have to try to become different than the average DJ. Fair. And a lot of DJs don't invest in themselves. So I would immediately encourage you, start creating imaging for yourself. Start worrying about how you dress, how you look, how you speak on the microphone. You go on the microphone. Where's all my birthday people at? How many times are you gonna fucking say where's all my birthday people at?
¿Dónde están las mujeres que no tienen marido?
Come on, it's just, and that's the problem.
And I bet you now, the same DJs, when we come back to the clubs, ¿dónde está la gente que no tenía el coronavirus?
Yeah, that's gonna be the new one.
Yeah. Well, you won't see me raising my hand.
I'm gonna be like,
all right, Eddie, now it's your turn, motherfucker.
I'm gonna be like, Eddie, put your hand down, nigga. And how do you feel about DJ Camilo?
I love Camilo, man. I think Camilo is one of the. You gotta realize that Camilo and I, we're in our 40s.
DJ Camilo's 40?
Yeah, Camilo actually is a little older than me. But one thing about Camilo,
Spanish people don't crack, man.
Nah. It has nothing to do with age. One thing about Camilo is that.
No, I'm talking about skin. Like, y'all look young.
Yeah. Well, one thing about Camilo is that he stays hot in the clubs.
Facts.
And people, you see a guy like Camilo, it doesn't hurt you to pay him, because he delivers. Like when you bring Camilo to your club, the average time you're gonna see your numbers jump up by 300-400 people. So whatever money you're putting behind him, it justifies itself.
He shuts shit down.
And as a person, he's very humble.
And he's a very humble person. Like, I remember calling him when we did the few skits that we were doing for videos for Barcode, when we started doing the little trailers. He never said no to us. Another one that I feel that is, he's very humble, and I see him getting very far, is like a Frank Roth. He walks into your room and he's a guy that will work with you. I think like Spin King, I give him a lot of respect too. he's branding himself with a lot of artists. You know, on top of that, you know, he stays true to himself, and you know, and they're all trying, man. They're all trying. Like, if you look at a Camilo, a Spin King, you know,
Frank
Roth, they're, you know, they somehow created their own brand, and they stay true to it, you know.
Dominican men don't cheat. Shout out to Frank Roth.
Yeah, Spin King, I think he just recently started his own record label as well. He signed a couple artists.
Well,
him and his brother.
But you gotta listen. Star, again, another brilliant guy. Like, if you don't know Star, if you sit down with him to talk as a gentleman, as business, then you would be like, wow, I never knew this motherfucker talked like that. But because you see a guy, you know, where, you know, wearing his you know, his Yeezys or whatever, you know, whatever and you don't think that because he's in the music world or hip hop world that he's educated. Now this guy is beyond educated. That's probably why he has such a big relationship with 50. It's because you got a guy that not only understands the language of hip hop, but understands what is to be a gentleman, a business person, and be a true person to your word. You know, and I respect that. I respect that a lot.
Word. And speaking about DJs and business and being successful, what would you say to the younger entrepreneurs out here in Elizabeth, or in general around the world, that see Eddy and they look up to Eddy G and want to be the next Eddy G? What would you tell them on how to start?
Well, the first thing I would tell them, don't try to be Eddy G. Try to be yourself. Because a lot of mistakes that are done is because people want to be what somebody else is doing.
Mm-hmm.
And the reality that's not, just because I made it doesn't mean that that's going to be your niche. You got to understand, what made me successful in my clubs is not, you see, you walk into Barcode and you enjoy that moment that you entered Barcode to the moment you leave. You don't know what goes behind the scenes, how long it takes me to prepare for that one night. You know, when I was building that club, I was building it with my own hands. You know, I was doing upholstery. I was, you know, doing sound, doing lighting.
I remember
because
when
we didn't have the money to pay a sound company at that time.
Yeah, I remember when Barcode was being built, you were actually there with the construction team, building shit.
And that's how it is. And again, a lot of people see the glory, but they don't see the sacrifice. So a lot of people be like, yo, I want to be just like you. First of all, to be just like me, you have to have known what it takes to build this place from the bottom up. You know, everybody wants to, the Lambo, I want the Lambo. Oh, the house, I want the house. But yeah, but how many, it's taking me since 95 till now to do this. It's 25 years non-stop in this industry. What makes you think you're going to walk in overnight with a small investment and think you're going to build the next Barcode overnight? It doesn't happen. That's no different than when Alex tried to go to XL and think, oh shit, I'm going to open up and I'm going to bring this artist, I'm going to kill it. No, you're not, motherfucker. It doesn't happen like that. You don't take a banquet hall and compete with a monster like Barcode just because, you know, you have Alex Sensation. Like, yeah, it's a combination of things that made the magic of Barcode. Like, when Camilo goes in there and he rips the party out, it's because he also has the tools. He's got the lights, he's got the sound, he's got the effects, he's got the CO2, the confetti, the balloons, the streamers, the fucking room.
Camilo.
You know what I'm saying? You put that same DJ in a little ass lounge, the picture ain't gonna be the same.
Mm-hmm.
Why is Barcode important? Because Barcode gives you a platform. Barcode as a DJ makes you, when you DJ at Barcode, being a little neighborhood DJ, it makes you feel like you're DJing at a fucking ultra. Because when you're there, the experience is not normal. So, to many DJs, they see that, oh my God, I want to be him. But I built that platform for everybody that's around us. And that's what happened when Alex went to XL. XL doesn't, you only have a few lights. You might have a few CO2s here and there. But the whole experience of Barcode, like now even with the pool, you can't fight against that. It's taken me 25 years to build that experience, to know how to build it. And somebody wants to copy that overnight, that doesn't happen.
So name 3 things that a business person, upcoming entrepreneur would need. 3 things.
Find your niche.
Find your niche.
Number 1. understand the financial part of your business. If you do not know the financial part of your business, no matter, you don't want to be broke and famous. Oh my God, that guy, yo, look at that shit, is packed. And then when you look at the guy is negative in the bank or owing everybody money.
Hold on, you throwing shots at me, Eddie?
No, I'm throwing shots at everybody.
You throwing shots at me, bro?
I don't know if that's your situation, brother, but what I'm telling people is people.
And what's number 3?
And be passionate about it, man. And you know, don't chase the money. Chase your passion because the money will come. I never thought I would ever make the money that I have made to this day, and I have been able to buy as much property as I was able to buy. And listen, keep your money right. Pay your taxes. Don't be stupid thinking, oh, cash. Listen, cash is only good for the amount of money you got. You don't got credit, you ain't got shit. Take care of your credit, number 1 over everything. You can't buy a Lamborghini and show the government you only making $20,000 a year. Like, you can't think like that. That's the problem with our society. Our society wants to be rich, but they don't want to pay taxes. Mm-hmm. Well, you're never gonna have the opportunity to grow if you can't go to a bank and borrow money. You know, and the American way is don't use your money, use the bank's money. And that's the American way.
Facts. And I remember you calling me one day when you went to go buy your Lambo. You're like, Mijo, what are you doing? Like, shit, chilling. Come with me. I'm going to the car dealership. I'm like, all right. And on the way, you know, you was like, I'm ready to buy a Lambo. I'm like, oh shit, this is lit. And we went to the dealership in New York. Mm-hmm. I remember seeing the Bugatti. The Bugatti had its own room. Yeah. I remember we went to the Lamborghini room. And I remember one thing you said to me always stuck with me, and I always use that in my life. I remember joking about it, like when the guy was explaining the Lamborghini, oh, this, maintenance will be more than 10,000, gas will be this, and I'm going like, damn, gas is how much? And I remember he told me the price. I'm like, damn, Eddie, you're gonna be paying that much for gas? And I remember you looked at me and you were like, listen, man, if I'm buying a Lambo and I gotta worry about gas, I shouldn't be buying a Lambo.
100%.
And I remember that stuck with me, like, yo, you're right. Like, sometimes people, you know, go broke.
And I ain't buying that more. At least, you see, to me, it's a write-off. So
okay.
That's another thing, too. Like, a lot of people are not true to the reality. Like, oh, you bought this. Listen, a lot of the times, people, you don't buy shit. You only pay for the opportunity to use it. The reality is, this is what I own. I own my body. And if I don't take care of this, then everything else is a fucking fantasy. This room, this building that I just have my name for it right now. This building was built in 1909. How many people have had the right to say this building is theirs? Realistically, this building, you don't own shit. You own the opportunity to use it for that period of time. So don't spend your whole life thinking that you're going to spend money to impress poor-minded people. You want to impress the people you love. Impress your kids, your family, your mom. Those are the people you got to impress. And not by giving them expensive things. By giving them opportunity to have financial freedom. If you're going to be a slave to luxuries, then you know what? You're in the modern way of slavery. Because you're working to impress other people that are just in the same boat as you are. Mm. And that, listen, you see me, I was gonna wear a fucking Adidas.
And I noticed that you never wear chains.
I don't have jewelry.
You never wear jewelry.
I don't have jewelry.
Not even to Barcode.
Nothing. I don't have it. Listen. I'm not talking nothing against people who have jewelry. I just choose not to have it. But you know what? Like one day I remember I had the zebra, whatever the Yeezys, and it was fucking raining one day. I stepped on the fucking mud and I fucked it up. I went on the internet. I found the same fucking pair for $250. And I remember my boy tells me, yo, man, them shits are probably fake. I told him, you know what? They look identical to me. But you know what's real? How much you got in your pocket? You got Yeezys on, right? Well, I got like $100. I'm like, all right, look, I got $2,000 in my pocket. Go look at my bank account.
Talk dirty.
And how many properties you own? Oh, well, I haven't bought nothing yet. I'm like, all right, well, that's real.
Damn, man, are you sure it was a friend? Talking bad shit to that nigga.
No, but you know why? Because I like to open people's mind to realistic shit.
I would have stopped being your friend after that.
No.
Like, yo, he just shitted on me.
You know what? I'm not trying to shit on. He was trying to shit on me.
Nah, fact. And you reversed it.
And I pretty much showed him that the truth is the stuff that's materialistic, what's real? Because somebody bought it in advance and they resold it to you for $700-800, that's what makes it real? Mm-hmm. What about the nigga who bought it the first time? That shit's $250. Maybe I was the lucky one that got it for $250, and I didn't have to be the stupid one that paid $800.
And not for nothing, you can have 10 pairs if you want.
I could, and I do have them, but I don't buy them at $1,000 a pair. If I see something and I think that it's above and beyond, not that I cannot afford it, I cannot justify it, because you know what? Those $500 more that I paid, I could have probably used that money to accumulate for another property I might want to buy, or to give a child of mine an opportunity to go to school, or to help a friend out, get himself out of a hole, or get himself to build a future,
or to give me new teeth,
something like that.
I'm still waiting, man. I need new teeth. But I appreciate that, man. Last question too, so we can start closing out. What happened to your finger, man?
I lost it with a ring, believe it or not. When I had
a ring?
Yeah, when it was a concert that was Pastor Lopez. He just passed away, I think, like a year ago. Back in Palo Romero days, it was all salsa and it was all that Colombian shit.
Let me see, show the finger.
So I went to decorate the club and I was putting up a flag. I jumped up and my ring got stuck on my jump. So with my weight of my body falling down from the jump, it just ripped my finger.
Oh man! Shit. And it just came off.
That's it. The skin came off and it left the bone by itself.
Oof! What the fuck?
Yeah.
And so you could have moved the bone like this?
Huh?
You could have moved the bone.
No, the bone wouldn't move because you need the muscle and everything.
Yeah, Mario about to throw up over there. Mario over there about to throw up.
Yes, I could just picture that shit.
But Eddie, in closing, I do appreciate you spending your time because I know you got mad shit to do. Hopefully this.
Yeah, go home.
Yeah, I was saying you gotta go to Barcode, but
back to quarantine life.
Go back to quarantine, but I feel like this interview will really open the eyes of a lot of people out there who's gonna be watching this.
I feel like people are gonna learn something.
Yeah, definitely. I learned something.
I definitely learned a lot.
And we've been here a few hours, and I could sit here for 20 hours and still have a lot more to talk about.
I can sit here and listen to you for 20 hours. You taught me some shit.
You need a book.
Yeah.
The Life of Eddy G and the Missing Finger. But I appreciate you, big bro. Really, like not only you the owner of all this, but you always.
I don't own it. We don't own nothing in life. We only have the right to use it.
Well, thank you for letting me use this. You feel me? But I appreciate you for the knowledge. It's always good because every time I sit with you, I learn something new.
Well, listen, it's just be realistic to yourself, man, and go for it. Go. Never take something small and never think you could turn into something big. It's all on the energy you put into things. So if your mind is willing to take the challenge and you're willing to put your heart into it, you will always accomplish it.
See, that's another.
And everybody always told me I was not gonna accomplish it. Everybody. And a lot of those people work for me now.
And real quick, is it true you was in special ed?
I was in special ed. I'm dyslexic, and I dropped out of high school in 10th grade.
Wow. What grade were you in special ed?
I was in special ed all the way to 8th grade. And when I went to high school, they didn't have the special ed program. So instead of being in a class of 12, I went to a class of 40. So now, you got to read in front of the class. I would read, but I couldn't remember what I was reading because I was forcing myself to read correctly. So I hated school. And to this day, I hate school. I don't think school means shit to anybody. If you, again, don't say go drop out of high school tomorrow because maybe your career, you might have to go to school. But you don't have to have a college degree or a high school diploma to make something of yourself. The first person, your biggest diploma is yourself. What are you gonna make about yourself, and are you really willing to work for it? Now, people just want to wake up tomorrow and be rich. That doesn't happen either. So if you're not willing to put the work in, it's just not you're not gonna be successful.
It's crazy. Gary Vee says the same thing about school. Like I think I'm gonna set that up because his people do follow me, and I did get an email that they want me to come to his company one day at Vayer Media, and I accepted it because they're all looking for influencers, and I'm gonna bring you with me and have y'all talk, bro. Because I feel like that's an exclusive combo y'all should have.
I'll be more than happy to go.
All right, let's do it. But I appreciate you for coming. Episode 2, very, very helpful. And appreciate you for coming, bro.
Anytime.
Spending time for us.
Anytime.
It's the Ruga Podcast, episode 2, Eddy G. We out.
Yeah. God bless.